Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, we are continuing on our ongoing campaign, playing Cubicle 7's very awesome Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition. And with me tonight are the stars of the Gathering Storm campaign. I'll go in the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Now, unfortunately, Roll20 is proving to be a bit uncooperative again, so we've got no one's camera working other than mine right now. But if past is a predictor of the future, then it may start working at some point. So first up, we've got Greg. Who are you, and who are you playing?
I'm Gerhart, Zealot of Sigmar.
And next up is Dave.
Hey everybody, I am playing Hari the Hood. He is a protagonist, and I believe he is still just a braggart. Tonight's beverage of choice will be Jim Beam Devil's Cut, Kentucky bourbon whiskey.
Ooh, nice.
Pretty awesome. I actually have something interesting to say about my drink, but first we'll go to the last of the stars of the session, or the campaign, as Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Werner, the River Warden, an all-around amazing boat driver who doesn't cause serious problems every time they get in a boat.
2 campaigns, or 2 adventures, 2 boats destroyed.
And doesn't have a boat anymore.
Yeah.
I am drinking Jefferson's Reserve bourbon tonight.
Oh, very nice. So now I'm not unfortunately drinking anything terribly interesting alcoholic-wise, but what I am doing is having more of my diet A&W root beer, because I successfully completed my month of no refined sugar.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now you're just going to make up for lost time.
Now I'm going to keep on going until I go home to visit for a trip for a week. And there's a breakfast place there that makes this ridiculous pancake that has like a Belgian cinnamon glaze on it and apples. And I plan to eat like 5 of them when I'm home. So I'm going to hold off from my refined sugar until I get there. And then I will just come back 20 pounds heavier than when I left. So anyway, what we are doing today. So first thing I guess we could say is we've now finally, I got off my duff and I uploaded this really glorious looking map that's in the core rulebook. So this is the map of the Reichland, and where we are tonight, I'll zoom in, is in Stromdorf. Now guys, let's move over to this screen with all the Stromdorf illustrations on it, because this is far too cheery. This is probably more. Yeah, that's more.
This is much more Warhammer.
Yes. Okay. So, guys, what do you remember about the last session? I know it's been a month since we played, but before we launch into our session tonight, I thought I'd do a little bit of refreshing for you guys. So, what do you guys remember having happened last time?
Shoot, honestly, not a
We
lot.
were in Stromdorf.
Yep.
And you guys went to the Not Inn, the boarding house or whatever it was called.
Oh yeah, okay, right.
And I went and saw the priest of Sigmar, the crazy veteran zealot dude from previous wars.
Yep.
We got
Right.
pastries.
And
We were
he-
buttering up that one lady.
And she was buttering us up with pastries.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. I do
Keep a
remember.
cobble
that.
pot.
And I just need to find it. But you told us to take notes.
I did suggest that notes would be helpful.
I did take
You know what?
notes. Now
I
watch
did.
the notes.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember where I put them. I had them.
So the places, there was the Stewpot Hostelry, which was that little place run by the Keela Cobblepot, who was the halfling proprietress of that establishment, and she seemed quite lovely. And you guys agreed to stay at her place that evening. And I think it was Harry and Verner who went there, and then Gerhart, you went to see the priest at that time, right? Did Greg go grab his notes, or?
I think maybe he's looking for his notes.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, he stepped away. Okay.
Yeah, that what you just said is what I remember too.
Okay. You guys also had spent the first night in town at the Thunderwater Inn and Brenner Brewery. Remember, you spoke to one of the two kids, and there was that, the husband whose wife fell down a well.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And that's why nobody was drinking from the well. They thought it was bad luck or tainted. Or
That's right. And then you also made a friend, Eduardo Castillo Rodriguez. Remember the drunk from Estalia?
Yep.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Nice.
Yeah, it was in my D&D campaign book of all places.
What else did you see? Oh, you also learned about the not the Baron. What's his name?
The Burgermeister.
Yeah, Burgermeister. Yes.
Yeah.
How the Burgermeister has been absent for the last little while, and that the city seems to have, while he had initially helped Stromdorf and enter into a bit of a short lasting golden age, that it unfortunately seems to have ended. And where is he?
And we went and talked to, was it the family of the woman who went down the well?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Brenners.
Brenner, yeah. So,
okay, so you guys, you remember a lot more than what I did. To be honest, I watched the episode. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to open with then, guys, is actually with a cutscene. So what we see, let me move the image here to boom, good old Stromdorf. Also, I feel like we're missing something.
is it still raining in Stromdorf? That's rhetorical.
Oh yeah, it is still
rhetorical, but yes, it's always raining in Stromdorf.
Oh, I have terrible news, guys. They they changed the audio features again. Good Lord.
Dear Roll20, we're loyal players. Stop changing shit and make sure that the video works.
The interface is a little different now for it. It looks like I'm wrong. This stuff is still in here. And I agree. I miss my...
Please get the video working.
The video, yeah, that's something that we could next work on. It's so strangely inconsistent, too, because like tomorrow morning I'll run Pathfinder and it'll work fine.
Maybe it just doesn't like Germanic games.
Let's see here. Oh, mama. Oh, boy.
Oh shit! You had to mention the weather.
I'll turn it down a bit because my dog is going to come running in shaking.
That's funny.
Oh man!
This is only a 49-second clip. Oh wow! Oh, he started another one.
This would be like trying to play Call of Cthulhu in a windstorm.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can't wait till I run Call of Cthulhu next. I got so many great audio clips. All right, guys. So what our scene opens with is we see coming up to the gates of Stromdorf, which you can see in the screen there, is a man dressed in a fairly nice and kind of filigreed cloak. He is kind of leading along a big white, like almost pale white horse from nose to tip. White mane, white coat, white tail, and it's lugging along. It's a pretty big animal, and it's lugging along this cart that is full of something that is covered in this oil-treated leather tarpaulin. And with the man, there are two other larger men who seem to be of a much lower station. The guy walks up to the gates of Stromdorf, and one of the town watch with that long white tunic walks up to him, and we don't hear what they're saying, but he holds up a ring that has a guild sigil on it. The guy seems to nod, coins are exchanged, and in this guy goes. We see a couple of cutscenes as this guy and his white pony, or his white horse, and the cart make a couple stops, and at each stop he's collecting fares or collecting some kind of payment from the various stops. Once at the barracks, once at the I believe at the Thunderwater. Let me see here. Where I am. Yeah, once at the Thunderwater, once at I don't know who this guy is. Unless there's some other place that we don't know yet. And with each place, while he's collecting the funds, we see that the two bigger men who have swords at their waists, they do the unloading for this, and it's a load of coal. At each place, they're dropping off a bunch of coal to one of the suppliers. The man who's in the cloak, who is somewhat well dressed with the guild sigil ring, in the film version of our campaign, he's played by middle-aged Peter Falk. We can of course see, because we are keen viewers, that this is Florian Veschler, the man that you've been sent to locate. And we see in white lettering with kind of an old school font on it, says Stromdorf 2 weeks ago. And the man and the two other guys, we see them go through the town and completing these things. And then we see them making their way down a street towards down one of the main streets. We can't really tell because of the falling rain, because of the darkness, as to where this guy's going. We see him stop and kind of look up. And he nods, and he looks pretty pleased. Like he's actually got a look of like a smile on his face, like he's ready to celebrate, kind of thing. And we don't see where he's actually gone in. But the next thing we see is the camera pans up from blackness, and we see that same cart, although now it's not being moved around during the daytime. This is the dead of night. There is rain falling. There's not a soul on the street, and all the houses all have blackened windows. There's no lights coming from within. It's clearly either very, very late or very, very early. But what we hear above the sound of the ever or semi-present thunder and the falling rain is the clip-clop of this great white horse that's dragging a cart that has a load in the back, much, much smaller than before, likewise covered by that oiled leather tarpaulin. We can see that the person driving moving the cart along is much taller and leaner than any of the previous people we've met. Much taller than Veschler for certain, and much leaner than the other two. Clip clop, clip clop. We see it making its way down the lonely street. Clip clop, and off into the darkness. Now, we cut back. Let me start up the thunder. Boom. There we go. We'll just keep the rain going. So we cut back to the town square. So let me move you over to the map of... here it is. Boom. It's not a great looking map. Back into the... Oh, it is pretty good, actually. So back into the market square. That's where you were meeting with... Gerhart had just finished meeting with the priest. Give me a second. I got his name. Oh yeah, Lector Magnus. Magnus Gottschalk. So, you guys have walked up to each other. You've learned a little bit from Lector Marcus and Greg Gerhart, and Harry and Verner. You had learned a fair bit from Kelia. So, what are you guys going to do? You've met up again?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll bring them up to speed. So Lector Magnus told me that he had an apocalyptic vision of the graveyard and beastmen and flooding. And and that the rod on top of the church is indeed just a lightning rod to protect the bell, I think isn't that what he told us? There's like some golden bell or something in the tower, and the lightning rod was to protect the bell.
Mm.
That's what I have in my notes. Because we were wondering about that. What's that big thing sticking under the top?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I also talked to the Brenner family.
You guys all did, I think, before you
did we?
had kind of split off for you had your breakfast in there and then took an opportunity to talk to one of the two sons.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
So what's the plan? Just as a refresher, guys, what brought you here in the first place was that Margareta Langenhorn had hired you guys. She was a mucky muck with the Ubersreich Merchant Guild and hired you to either find Florian Veschler or to recover his guild signet, because she didn't want that falling in the hands of someone else who might abuse it.
Right.
What about Harry and Verner? What did you share with Gerhart, or what do you tell Gerhart about the halfling and your new accommodations for the night?
Did we confirm with her that we would come back? I don't remember.
I think we said that we had to talk to our associate, and then we would.
Yeah, we kind of laid it off as.
We also have our guide dude, right? Eduardo Castillo Rodriguez.
Yes. Eduardo.
I think he ditched us because we weren't spending any money on him.
Well, he wasn't. You guys stayed in the inn, and he is a penniless vagabond. So, yeah, he's just he's probably slept outdoors.
So we'll say that the merchant we were looking for stayed at this location, and he was there last week. Is that correct?
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah. And that the baking is divine.
So the other thing that we got was, if we want to find out more about the disappearance of the Burgermeister, we should go talk to the Ornery captain.
Yes.
Is Hanko Mocha or whatever, is that the dude in the graveyard?
Hanko Mocha, let's see here.
Because I have Doomsayer written beside him. Is that the guy from the tavern?
Wasn't that the guy
Hanko Mocha is the guy who, when you first got here, when you guys got to the square, he was the one standing outside the Burgermaster or the town hall, screaming at it and calling him a tyrant and stuff like that. And then he was dragged off to jail, basically.
Town crazy dude.
Yeah. Although you did hear from Hans that his father says he's not, it's not that the Burgermeister did him wrong. It's that he's a shitty businessman and just wants to find someone to blame.
Right. And he's a little bit wackadoo.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Just trying to place all these notes.
Sure.
So, with regard to the Temple of Sigmar, I have a note here, battle standards. That's because there's a bunch of captured battle standards in the temple?
There are, let's see here, the temple, I believe, does have battle standards in it.
Oh, and 2 initiates.
Yes, there are 2 initiates there. And then, let's see here. So the Temple of Sigmar has Baroque crenellations decorated with eagle and Warhammer motifs that mark the modestly sized building as a holy temple of Sigmar. Stained glass windows depict scenes from Sigmar's life. An ornate tower juts from the roof, housing a massive golden bell. A set of heavy double doors stand permanently ajar, allowing worshippers entry into the shadowy, candle-lit sanctum within. And inside, tattered battle standards hang from the high vaulted ceiling, which magnifies the slightest whisper.
Okay.
A double column of stone pillars carved with the scenes of orcs being slaughtered by human warriors leads to an altar decorated with the symbol of the twin-tailed comet. The altar is flanked by twin granite statues of the muscular hero god Sigmar gripping his warhammer. There are no seats in the temple. A congregation stands throughout its long ceremonies, and a black curtain hangs at the rear of the altar, which you found, Gerhart, hides at least one door, and that door led down into the crypts.
Right. Okay. So we've got graveyard. Obviously, there's is it Brother Grab or something from the Garden of Moor, which is the equivalent of the mortuary outside across from the graveyard.
Yeah, he's the priest of Moor who lives. But although the graveyard itself is, or the Garden of Moor is, I think it's a slight distance away from town.
Yeah. So I mean, when we're looking at the map, it's just outside of the Reichland Gate, and then I know it's obviously not to scale, but it looks like
that's the way towards it.
Okay, and so it's down that road towards the graveyard and the garden and all that are right, like off the map type thing.
Yeah, so it's situated. Yeah, they've as is often the case in for Dave and Jeff, Moor is the god of death, obviously, and the Garden of Moor is where they set the dead to rest, and because there is the potential of dark magic. Like, Moor is not a god of undead; he's a god of death. So, Priests of Moor basically keep make sure that the dead stay where they're supposed to be, or at least that's what they're intending to do.
They're like the sisters from Game of Thrones, right?
What's that?
They're like the sisters, whatever they're called, the sisters from Game of Thrones. They deal with like the preparation of the dead and the funeral rituals and
exactly.
So forth, right?
Yeah.
So then, didn't we last time determine that we were going to go to the gates to confirm whether or not he left through one of the gates, because we knew he was in town?
Right.
And we were going to confirm, make sure he didn't leave town? Or were we going to talk to the captain first?
I mean, I think the captain is probably a good choice, just because probably after that we should probably go to the graveyard. So let's do what we have to do in town.
Okay.
Because didn't we not talk to the guards when we came in the right gate?
You did not interrogate them.
Oh, okay.
Not that I recall, at least.
No, we just came in and tried to find shelter.
Gotcha.
I think you asked questions of one of the guards, but I don't remember what that. I don't think anything came of it.
Oh, I think that might have been at the barracks.
Yeah. Some dude was coming out of the barracks fresh, and I think you may have tanked a roll. I think.
Big surprise.
Yeah. Okay.
Big surprise.
So, what are we going to do then, guys? You still have
now we know what Florian Weschler looks like.
You do. Well, yeah, I'm trying to think who. Wasn't it the people at the Thunderstone or the Thunderwater who told you about that?
Yeah, and what his two henchmen type people look like as well.
Mm.
Weren't they?
Oh yeah, right. No, that was what's her name? Keelia.
Yeah, because he stayed at the hostelry, right?
At the hostelry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's go see the cap.
Okay. So you guys are making your way across the the market square. It's I mean, the rain is still coming down, so it's a little bit busy. But Harry, you can hear the sound as you're sort of getting to the far side, and you're going to make your way down to the Schatzstrasse, I believe it's called. Let's see, I got my little. Oh, where's my handout? There we go. I think this is right. Yes. I genuinely think I need glasses now, which sucks. I can't read this at all.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, I don't know. The North Road.
I'm trying to read this. I've got the card version, but I cannot read what it says there.
Well, it is pretty.
It's really small.
So the North Road is the Stumped Strasse, and whatever the other one is,
Sumpstrasse.
Yeah, the
Sumpstrasse. Schunzestrasse.
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, the Schunzestrasse is what I'll call it. And I think that's right, actually. Schunzestrasse. So you're making your way towards there, and then Harry, what you hear out of your to your right, between kind of to the this narrow alley or between two buildings, there is a it looks like someone has thrown like a makeshift tent of some kind. They've thrown a blanket over themselves, and you hear from underneath there a young voice saying, "Please, sir, please spare a coin."
Oh, yes. You young king, you should be getting yourself some food.
So you look down, and it's actually it's two kids. It's two kids who are probably like between 6 and maybe 9 years old. Filthy as hell. It's soaked to the bone. And they look up, and they're kind of like, "Oh, please, please."
Do I have rash? I have food. Don't I carry some food around with me?
I don't know, unless it's on your sheet.
It says I'm doomed. Oh wait, no,
that sounds all right.
Heading in the right direction.
That's a different part of the sheet, I think. Items and equipment, trappings, notes, personality, history, appearance. I don't see.
Let's see here.
How far am I from the hostelry?
From the hostelry, it's a little ways away. So it's let me see here. I mean, you could get there and back within 20 minutes.
Is there like a food cart somewhere nearby? Some merchant who's
probably, yeah.
Okay, well, you know what?
So your trappings are a hood, dirty clothing, and a pouch.
Yes, I'm a. Well, what was I? Copper 2 or brass?
Brass.
Something like that when I started.
Yeah.
I was brass 2 when I started. It's not like I had a whole lot of coin.
Nope, and this is
we're well to do in the Warhammer world.
Yeah. Okay, so you're kind of looking around. Would you, Gerhart and Verner, do you think you guys would have stopped as well, or would you have kind of kept on walking while Harry stopped and was dealing with these kids?
Probably would have ignored them.
Okay, so then Harry, would you kind of give me a perception check, please?
I am Harry the Perceptiveness.
Oh my god!
I even know they're kids.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The upside to you is that I'm starting off with a real rockin' result too. I'm not sure you can see that. I rolled a 98 for them.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you're sort of like, and you look around, and I think they were expecting you to be paying attention to them, because you see there's a third kid who's trying to get his hand in your like to grab your purse or grab your pouch of coins, and you turn around and you see this kid standing right there. I'm going to assume your initiative is higher than what the kid's is. So what would you like to do?
Grab his hand.
His eyes look up at yours, and he's about the same age as them. He's equally filthy.
Yeah. I'm like, stealing's bad for you. But if you're nice and you sit here quietly, I'll go get you some food. Would you like some food?
He's looking terrified. Why don't you give me a charm check, please, and I'll give you a plus 20 to that because that's a pretty nice thing to offer him food when you catch a thief.
I have a soft spot for kids.
Got to fatten up their hands for when we cut them off afterwards.
Wow. Roll 20 is not in my favor today.
No. So you're, I mean, like looking at your character portrait as well too, though. Like you're a pretty big, scary dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. You're like, just stay here and I'll get you some food. And the kid is going to try and wrench his hand out of your hand and then run off into the crowd. Do you want to try and hold on to him, or are you going to let him go?
No, I don't want to scare him anymore.
Okay, so he just turns and runs away, and you hear the sound of little feet padding in water, and they go running. They go running off down the alleyway, dragging that blanket with them as well.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a couple of cheap-looking coin purses and fill them with food, and just periodically let myself get robbed by little kids.
Okay. Okay. So you're gonna have to keep your eye out for opportunities to let kids steal from you.
Yeah, and then look oblivious, and then let them take the fake coin purse full of like sweetmeats and stuff like that.
Can I make a suggestion? Is that you could always just drop them.
Oh, that would be way, way easier.
Rather than like chasing after kids saying,
"Come steal from me." I want to touch my bag, little kids.
Like,
well, Harry's not exactly. Well, that's not his thing. He's not a strategy guy.
He's not a genius.
Absolutely.
He has a good heart, but he's not so smart.
Gerhart and Verner, you guys are walking along, and that's when you realize that Harry's actually not with you. And you look back, and he, he's standing there
by children again.
Yeah, the bane of his existence. So, Harry, do you want to do that now, or you want to carry on with the guys and then get that taken care of later?
Yeah, I'll try and catch up to them. I'll hustle to try and find them, but I'll keep my eyes open for some food places at least, and I'll secure my money.
Okay. Okay, so you secured the money. Now, where were you guys planning on going?
The captain's.
Yeah,
okay.
Town Hall.
Okay. So you walk up to the town hall is actually a different place from Captain Kessler's office.
Yeah, we were told that he had a office just off the square, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
so you head to Kessler's office, and let's see here.
Like it's probably 20 feet from the town hall based on the size of the town, but.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's to the southwest or whatever of the square.
Yeah. It's a little bigger than that, only because it's at the confluence of three rivers. That this place does get a lot of through traffic. The only reason people don't stay here longer is because the weather is so shit all the time, as you guys can hear. Let's see. Oh, it's the rain.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't seem like a nice place to live.
No, not at all. Okay, so then
I could make a Winnipeg joke here, but I'll save it.
No one here lives in Winnipeg.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to save that sound effect for other games. it's really fucking loud. Okay,
Turn my volume down.
no, you could do that. But why I may have actually cranked the volume on it just to roll that to have that cue into. Okay, so when you guys reach what was described to you as Kessler's house, you find it is an imposing 2-story black and white townhouse with a high pointed roof decorated with grotesque gargoyles. His office is on the ground floor, and there doesn't appear to be anyone. There's no guards at the door or anything like that. It's just a normal normal street access office. So who's going to go and knock on the door?
Well, I will.
Okay, so you go up and rap the door, and you hear from inside this not young like the kids, but there's a younger man's voice that says, "Come in."
Okay. We've had a run-in with the captain in the town square, right?
You have, yeah. You know exactly what he looks like.
Okay. So I open the door.
Eye patch guy, and he looks like a badass. As you step into kind of the foyer or the reception area, and there's a bench in there for where people can sit. There is, doorways that lead into other parts of the house. Further back, there's a staircase that leads up. It looks like you have to walk in and then wind your way up. But there's also a small desk at which sits a fairly self-impressed young man who is dressed in the white colors of the town watch, and he looks up at you. And on the wall there is a portrait of Emperor Karl Franz, and his noble features are lit by the pale daylight streaming in from a large window opposite to him. And yeah, so he looks up at you, the young guy, and says, "May I help you?"
We're here to see the captain.
"Do you have an appointment?" And he starts flipping through some paperwork in front of him.
Okay. Well, I just sort of stare at him. I don't say anything, but I just sort of stare at him until he looks up at me.
Okay, so he keeps flipping around. "Are you mute?"
No. We're here to see the captain. We don't need an appointment.
He kind of laughs. "I don't know how things work where you come from, but you need an appointment to see the captain. And I take it then, from your ignorance of the proper protocol, that you do not have an appointment with the captain."
Priests of Sigmar don't make appointments with town officials.
"Well, I'm not certain how things work where you are from, but the priests of Sigmar make appointments here."
Okay. I step towards the desk.
Okay.
Oh, time for Harry to play good cop. No. Gerhart.
As much of a like you could break this little shit in two with very little effort, but he does seem to have some nerve to him because he's not really terrible. If you want to try and intimidate him, we can do that. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't like this kid's attitude.
Oh, so good.
What is with roll 20?
It's saving it for dramatic, great results later. So you step forward and kind of glower at this kid, but he's like, you would think he was facing an old woman from the way he's just like. "You realize he is the head of the watch. Priest or no, you cannot. There are certain protocols that must be followed. What is your name, priest?"
Gerhart.
"Is it Brother Gerhart?"
Well, it ain't Sister Gerhart.
"Oh, and what is your name, Warden?"
My name is Werner, and I'll pull out my River Warden, I don't know, badge or whatever the heck I carry, and I'll say, "I'm an official here as well. What is with the hold up here? We need to speak to the captain immediately."
"And you are a member of the River Wardens?"
That's correct. And you're a member of what?
"I am a member of the City Watch. My name..." Oh, where is it here?
Have you been commanded by the captain to obstruct all city
My
business?
name is Meyer, and he sort of, stands up very straight, am Captain Kessler's personal secretary.
And has he told you to obstruct all business in the city?
"No, but we keep things in an orderly manner here." And he kind of.
Well, when's the next appointment?
"What is your name, Warden?"
Werner.
Verner.
Yeah.
He looks down. I have no appointment for a Werner.
Oh my God. So Meyer, since you come from here, did you ever learn how to swim?
Yes?
Oh, good. Because you can end up in the river if you keep this up.
And you will end up in the stocks if you keep this up. It's
I encourage your
unkind.
attempt.
What was that?
I encourage your attempt.
Harry, you see this going on? Or are you doing anything?
Harry's trying to decide if he wants to join in and beat the kid up or maybe try and save him. So,
That's
evens.
Yeah,
He joined in.
we should do rock, paper, scissors to see who digs the shallow grave.
Evens, he joins in. Now listen here, you little punk. We're trying to find a missing person, which seems to be fairly important to the Merchants Guild. And unless you're going to try and help us, I'd say you're trying to prevent us.
okay. So again, recognizing what your station is as well.
I have no station.
No, exactly. So he looks up, and he's not in. Like, it's these three huge guys leaning over this like Weasley little shit, and he just does not seem to be breaking. And that's at that point. I'm guessing you're all raising voices, and you hear the door open to your right from where you guys are standing. The door is thrown open, and you hear a man's voice say, "What is the noise out here?" And you all look over, and you can see that it's Captain Kessler. He looks at you three, and he says, "Are you looking for trouble?"
No, we're looking for you. Apparently, it requires us to cause a commotion to get your attention.
He strides forward, and he's a good like half foot taller than you. And the one eye he's got, he narrows down, and he says, "Causing a commotion in the captain of the watch's residence is a very good way for strangers to find themselves into our jail. Is that what you wish?"
So you
Stranger.
arrest strangers who are trying to bring business to the captain of the guard.
And find missing persons. That's a pretty strange culture.
He looks down at Meyer and he says, "Do they have an appointment?" And Meyer, straightens the paper, puts it down. No. He looks back at the three of you. This is a new priest. What is your business here?
I come at the behest of Brother or Lector Magnus. He said that I should speak with you, but apparently.
So he looks over at Harry, kind of studies him up and down, looks back at you. These are with you?
My companions?
Yeah.
Indeed.
He looks down at Meyer. He says, "Meyer, we will make room." He says, "Come in." It seems that the lector's words have carry some weight with the captain. So he leads you into his study, and the study is his office rather. It's large, but it's cluttered. There's shelves of books, scrolls, and boxes that line the walls, and there's a large chestnut desk that is swamped with paperwork. A candelabra lights the room from one corner, and a deep red curtain behind the desk hides or covers something. So he gestures to these high-backed leather seats that are crowned with griffins. And he says, "Please sit." And he closes the door once you guys have made your way in. And he looks over at you guys, and he's got that lean face. He's got a mustache. He's got an eye patch on for from the scar that appears above and below the eye patch. You would guess is to cover a damaged or missing eye. And he looks over at you. Goes and sits behind the desk and says, "Well then, if the lecturer finds it important, what is your business here then? And why is it? Why need it be brought to my attention?"
Well, we were commissioned by the Ubersreich Merchant Association to find a missing merchant, Florian Weschler, who came to your town 14 days ago.
I see.
It's a coal vendor.
Coal vendor. The one that supplies the barracks.
I believe so. White horse, cart.
I don't know him, but I'm familiar with him. He's missing.
Yes.
What more do you know?
Just that he was in your town 14 days ago, and to the best of our knowledge, he never left.
Stayed at the hostelry for a night.
At Cobblepot's.
Yeah. The Stewpot hostelry.
Have you spoken to anyone else?
We have surveyed the town. We've spoken to a number of people, but no one was able to give us any information. And Magnus suggested that we spoke to you.
Have you spoken to any of the members of the Watch?
We felt like it was in our best interest to speak to you first.
That's not an incorrect assessment. And he, kind of makes a flourish of grabbing something, and he writes down something on a piece of paper, and he rolls it up, grabs his, a little bit of or the candle, I suppose, that's burning, and pours some wax down, and then seals it with his signet ring. Kind of waits for it to dry. And he says, "Bring this to the guards. Anyone you wish to speak to will speak to you about this. I've instructed them to do that. They are instructed to not discuss such things and spread idle chatter otherwise." And he seems pretty impressed with himself for that.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your cooperation.
What did he? Was he to return to Ubersreich?
Well, so from what we understand, he was here, and
He was supposed to check in.
perhaps I don't know that his destination was beyond Stromdorf, but we were wondering if his cart or his sort of his signature was that he had a white pony that pulled the cart had turned up.
I know the coal merchant with the white pony. He did stand out, and of course he knows his. We have great use for coal in Stromdorf. Did Cobblepot tell you anything? Did she have any insight as to where he went?
I think that's you guys. Is you going to talk to her?
She had seen him.
She had. Now, you guys may not remember, but she told you that he checked out early in the morning and paid for everything, and then he and his hirelings kind of went on their way.
Okay.
He had 2 hirelings?
2, that's right.
Yeah.
Weren't they unique looking in some way?
They were, they're both pretty big dudes. And the 2, let's see here. Krantz, Olaf were his bodyguards / laborers.
So do we have any information as to was he just coming here and then going back, or did he have a normal route that he followed?
What they knew is that this is sort of him helping to develop, from what you learned from Margarita Langenhorn, was that this was sort of, a new relationship or trade relationship that he had been working on. But it wasn't, the fact that he was the one transporting the stuff and selling it tells you that it's still it wasn't an established kind of once I've got coal, I'll ship it down to you guys kind of thing. He was still solidifying those relationships.
Okay. So I guess this is obviously out of character, but we're going to have to go through the 3 gates and speak to the guards to find out which gate he left or if he did leave. I asked the captain, would it be too much for you to check your records and see the guards that perhaps, or that whoever's in charge at your gates, who was in charge on the day of his disappearance, so that we could speak specifically to the people that would potentially have seen him, rather than just go to the gate and talk to guards that might not have been on duty?
He says it would vary by the day. Do you know what day he arrived?
Yeah, well, so she told you guys, right, that had been 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it would be different. He says, I don't have a way of tracking when he would have arrived and who would have been working. We collect the tolls, but that's the extent of what is collected.
Right. I mean, we can give him the day that we suspect he arrived.
He's not going to be able to give you like a.
Okay, so there's no like schedule or whatever.
No, it's not like a roster of. There are certain things they would track, like how much was taken in a given day and things like that.
Okay.
And maybe like the number of people who came through, the number of legs or whatever that or axles that came through, but they wouldn't be like collecting names of specific people, and they wouldn't have. Yeah. So, and then they. I guess it would.
No. What we're talking about is we want to know if he knows the guards that were working at the gate.
Oh, they were on duty. No, I don't think that's
okay.
Yeah, it may be the same people who are working the gates. So I mean, I don't know. It's unlikely that he came on. Like if he came in over land, he likely came in through the Ubersreich Road, and there's going to be the same guards that are working there.
Sure.
Right. So.
Just wondered, some like obviously there's 7 days that they might not work every day, but I mean we'll canvass the gates. And
it's because it's a this is a medieval setting. I'm assuming they are working every day.
Sure.
Like, they get like religious holidays, and they may get some kind of exception and whatnot, but otherwise that's what they do. They just work.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay. So anything else you want to ask Captain Kessler?
Just so nothing suspicious of his disappearance, or there's been no rumors, nothing.
He gestures. He's like, says a strange, a merchant from out of town goes missing. That's he could have run off with his money. He could have fled to escape debts. He could have gone deeper into the empire. If he traveled far outside the, what's the name of the forest? There is a forest nearby. The Reichwald holds many dangers. The Ubersreich holds many dangers. If he was a gambler.
So maybe this is when speaking to Brother Magnus, he mentioned that there had been beastmen spotted around the town.
He looks. He says, "Really?"
And I'm wondering if you had heard similar reports.
They're a nuisance to those living. There are to the south. There are farmsteads, and they can at times be harassed by the beastmen. As with anywhere with any wild lands, they're a constant threat. But they've never besieged. It's been hundreds of years since the forces of chaos have besieged our walls.
Okay. I just thought I'd check and hurt. If obviously you'd be able to substantiate this. I fear that Brother Magnus may be suffering from. I don't know what word would I use. Repercussions for his service to the Empire.
You're not intending that to be an insult, right?
No, not at all. That's
okay, yeah.
Anybody who served in the military realizes that they've seen horrific things, right?
Sure, yeah. So he looks and he You can tell because of the care with which you delivered those words. He looks at you and he says, "He is a man touched by Sigmar and
He
blessed."
he is indeed.
He told you he saw beastmen near the walls. Now he had the vision, just out of character. He had that vision where he saw them. I don't think he actually said he saw.
No, I know that, and that's what I'm trying to like. I'm
Yeah.
trying to collate it, whether or not there's any substance, or this is something that is going to happen in the future.
So what he does? So what Captain Vessler tells you, or Kessler rather, is that there's a region called the Uberslecht, and I'll type it in the chat for you guys. So, assuming you're not able to phonetically spell German words.
Oh,
usually no.
The big forest, right?
No, the Reichwald is the one that is to the north. That's a big forest. The Uberslecht is actually more of like a moor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and it stretches down south and east of here. Let's take a look. I actually don't think it's on the.
I don't think it was on
the map, but let's take a look here and see if it is.
Like a barrow moor?
Yeah, exactly. All roads lead to the barrow moor.
Jeff, he's trying to railroad us back into the barrow moor.
I know.
I just have one campaign, and you guys are all playing in the same one. I can't wait to introduce my mana wraiths.
It sort of is. It's probably it probably goes along that hill line southeast of Stromdorf.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, actually, that's not bad. Man, this map's pretty good. So yeah, you can kind of see there, like just south and over here, those sort of badlands there. Wait, did I move you over on the map or not? I did. Okay, good. So I'm zoomed pretty far in, but just below the sort of banner there. Yeah, that's where the Oberslecht starts, and that's something that is rife with all sorts of unsavory things.
Yeah, because there's like a river system running through there and hills and all that. So that probably makes sense. Okay.
1 second here. There's actually something. Yeah, I think actually that's it. I'm gonna let you make a roll here. 1 sec.
Look at that twin-tailed comet in Ourswald. That's a sign that we should go and knock off that dude for Harry. Sigmar wills it.
We take the city. Love it.
Why does the map change color along this river?
I do not know.
To the right of the map, it looks like like you crossed into Mordor kind of thing.
Oh, I see. I think because it's not part of the. It's just a way of signifying the difference between the Reichland and then other provinces.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So if you look down in the bottom left of the map here, like the one that's on the screen right now, well, on the stream at least, this is the different provinces of the Empire. So you guys are just in the Reichland. So this massive sprawling map here, that's only one province.
Yeah, we're in the region around the capital. Yeah. So that river that goes southeast on the continental map or whatever.
I see. Yeah.
It connects the industrial town of Nuln, which is where all the
cannons,
the armament factories are and stuff like that.
Mm. Okay, I just my brain was suddenly taking me to the Pro March, and
yeah, that dark thing is probably Talback land or whatever. Talback land.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you guys? Yeah, I guess it's lore. Does anyone have lore history with these three characters? I'm going to guess not, but
I have lore Reichland.
Yeah, give me a lore Reichland check. It's gonna be hard, so minus 20.
Well, maybe I don't want to roll. Minus. Whoops.
Okay, can I say? This is a non-sequitur, but how much I enjoy the pushing feature of Call of Cthulhu 7th.
Yes.
Oh, fuck, was that fun? Okay. And Dave and Jeff, what it is basically is that you make your roll, and if you fail, you can try again. But if you fail again, something really bad happens.
You get to double down.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, this is it, and it was a fairly obscure fact. Okay, so
I almost made my normal roll.
nice.
If that matters.
We almost have our first success. Okay, so and remember, you guys do have your fate points have recharged as well, right?
Yeah, we're going to the graveyard. We need all the fate points. Nothing good ever comes going to a graveyard.
Okay, so yeah. So anyway, that he says, there's that Oberschlecht region that's to the south east from here. That place has beastmen in it, and sometimes they cause problems for some of the farmsteads to the south that are south of town. But Stromdorf itself, it really hasn't seen those kind of problems in centuries.
Right.
Yeah.
Though to put it in context for the other guys, we're on the south side of the capital, so most of the Chaos Hordes are north of the capital because that's where the war is going on, or where the war happened and stuff like that. So it has to make it through a pretty stiff line of defense to get a substantial number of beastmen. Though chaos is chaos. So,
well, and this is also pretty far from the Reichwald as well, too. The big thick forest that makes up most of the Reichland. So they would have to cross the basically the civilized regions, but between the Reichland and the Oberschlecht to get in there. So these are just degenerate, inbred beastmen clans and worshippers of chaos that live in the wilds of those moors.
Swamp men. Okay. Well, so now we got a writ. We're going to go canvass the gates, I guess.
Okay.
Thank the captain for his cooperation.
He, nods. He asks if one thing he says. I have one question for you, and he's talking to you, Verner.
Yes.
Is this something the wardens are investigating, or is it only at the behest of the Merchants Guild?
Yes, this is only at behest of the Merchants Guild. The wardens are not acting in this matter.
I see.
But it's because we're proficient at this thing, right? We've had some success in helping endangered people, stamping out cults, and rescuing folks from ne'er-do-wells.
He kind of looks at you and does a kind of up and down with you. Really? He's a little surprised that you faced a...
That sounds like a long list, but it was really just one thing.
Wait. Were you the three that were at the he's going to know the name of the place, but I can't.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
I'll finish his sentence for him. The Roadhouse? You mean the ones that crushed the gate of chaos? Perhaps it was us.
Interesting. This Vassler must be quite important to merit the guild hiring those such as you.
I just sort of nodded him and sort of give him that sort of deferential nod. Yeah.
Very well. Then if there is
Anything you need?
anything else, any other further questions, please just work with Meyer and make an appointment. Things are quite busy, so I can't just drop anything. And as he opens the door, you can see there's 3 people waiting outside that look like they're probably part of the mercantile class or the upper class.
I resist the urge to kick the leg out from Meyer's chair as we walk by.
Oh, he's still sitting there.
Yeah,
watching.
I mean, I just give the back leg of his chair a boot and just snap it off. Just snap. But no, I resist the
I
urge.
look down at him and I say, "You'll just have to have penciled us in, I guess, for a meeting."
He looks at you, and he's got a smug and pursing, a kind of a disapproving look on his face.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then the captain says, "Well, then, very well. I will leave it to you." And he says, "Oh, please Hans, and he gestures to the people that are waiting and brings them in, and you hear them say, "I had made an appointment," and then the door closes behind them, and you have no idea what they're saying in there. What are you guys going to do now?
Which gate do you want to start at? The right gate?
How about a midday beverage?
Okay, yeah, you convinced me. Second breakfast.
Second breakfast. Oh God. So what do you guys want to do? What I'm not going to make you go one by one. We're just if what your intent is for the rest of the day to kind of go and talk to the guards at each of the gates, we'll just skip one that actually matters.
Okay. That's our plan.
Okay, so that's the first thing you set out to do. Then, and then you guys, you managed to speak. I'm going to assume you started with where he came in. So the guards at the Ubersreich gate, they vaguely remember him coming in just because of the white horse, but they don't remember him leaving. You speak to the guards at the Auerswald Road, and the Auerswald Road that basically leads north, I believe, towards to Auerswald. Obviously, there is a third, or rather a fourth gate in here as well too, which is the Altdorf gate that leads to the docks, and you check that one as well, and likewise, they have no recollection of either the pony or a guy matching his description necessarily. However, when you speak to the people at the Nuln Road, there is a guard there. 1 second here, whose name is where are you here? Volo's guy. Where's my Xanthars? Oh, okay. Yeah, you could probably grab some food.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We would agree to stop for a drink. We're not,
We have all day to do this.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to wait till it's dark to go to the graveyard.
Totally. And I appreciate that. Okay, so his name is Dietrich. And so you speak to Dietrich, and what is it that you're asking? Like, how do you phrase your questions to him?
Just card the Weisenland gate. I'm just writing this down here.
Sure.
Okay, well, we hand him the writ.
Okay. Yeah, and he looks and says, "Oh, all right."
We established that we're not just some crackpots. And then I said, roughly 14 days ago, a coal merchant by the name of Florian Vessler was in Stromdorf, and we're trying to figure out whether or not he left by one of the roads, and we were wondering if you recall a wagon with a large white pony, and he had 2 men with him.
Wait, a wagon with a big white pony.
Would have been early in the morning.
Well, I did. And what did you say he looks like?
We give him the description.
Yeah.
He potentially had 2 helpers with him, though maybe not.
Well, I didn't see anyone that matches that description, but I did see Rainer Holtz leave about 2 weeks ago. Rainer made his way through the gate. It was just past midnight, and he made his way past, and he had with him a big white pony, big white horse, and a cart.
Who's this Rainer Holtz that you speak of?
He's part of the Holtz family. And he gestures outside of the gate to the south. The Holtzes are a family that lives in one of the farmsteads south of town. Rainer comes in to get his drink on, and then he either the stew pot or the thunderwater, and then late he staggers his way back. Though,
and they have a farmstead, you said, east of town?
South of town.
South of town. Okay. So is that on the lowland road?
It is.
Okay.
So that's strange. It was strange that he had a cart with him. And that white horse. That's certainly not something I had seen before.
Is there what would be the right place in town? Like a farrier or somebody? So, assuming that Florian sold his cart, maybe, and which seems odd, but where in town? I guess I'm asking you this, Kevin. Where would you sell something like this? So perhaps this farmer just bought it from the vendor, right? Like from the stable.
Yeah. There's not really like a used cart lot. Like it is all just individual transactions. So if this guy wanted to sell his stuff, it would, if say like, you were trying to disappear and you wanted to sell all your stuff, it would be on you to try and get whatever you can get, in order to get rid of it. Maybe someone at one of the inns might buy that from you or otherwise, but unless there's some kind of specific family or familial or friendly relationship with someone, they're not going to like keep your cart for you and sell it for you.
Right. Okay.
And from what you guys knew, Vessler didn't really have, apart from like that, again, is part of the reason why he was coming down here himself, was because he didn't have that network of mercantile connections just yet.
Right. Okay. Because there's a stockyard listed, so I'm wondering.
What do we know about the Holtz family?
The stockyard, it would be for livestock, not for horses.
Right. Because here's the problem: if this Reiner Holtz guy is, I guess we conclude our conversation with the guard, and then we go off to the side and talk about this, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So this Reiner Holtz guy is nefarious, and he has somehow gotten this through misdeed. He's not going to admit to it, and there's no way we can prove it. So, if on the other hand it was sold, we could go and talk to him, but I don't know that we're going to learn. All we're going to do is raise their awareness that we're on to what's going on if they're up to something.
So what would happen if someone has to stash a body in town?
I bet what's in the cart. I would suspect it was in the cart. If something ill happened to the merchant, that this dude had his body in the back of the cart.
If you guys ask about the
that would be dangerous.
Why this guy knows Reiner, like one guy.
Yeah.
Family is because he comes in fairly not like frequently necessarily, but regularly to get supplies for the farm.
Right. He's one of the known farmers in the area. They probably wouldn't stop him.
No.
Unless they had a reason to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So, if it had been us, they might have gone through the cart. But certainly, like a resident of the town,
if he needs to bring supplies back to the farm, he may not have room on the cart for that.
No, it's strange that this is I'm assuming you're gonna
go back and ask more questions.
Yeah, and ask some stuff about the guard. He brings a mule in. Usually, they got an old mule that he brings in, and usually you can see that thing waiting outside either the Thunderwater or the hostelry as he drinks, and then late at night he'll take that mule of his laden down with supplies and head out. Come to think of it, he had two of the Brenner's best, 2 kegs of ale too. Huh. Must have had some kind of celebration.
He was at the hostelry. Maybe somebody noticed or saw him there. We could start searching around there. Or we could go out to the farm.
Yeah. Well, that's... Well, I get him to give us a rough description of where approximately on the lowland road that the farm is.
Yep. Yeah,
So
so you got an idea. There's quite a few farms that are, or farmsteads that are along the way there with families that have been run by certain families for probably hundreds of years.
Right.
And the Holtz, the Holtz are a little peculiar. Most of those farm folk are a little peculiar. The guard says, think
So has Reiner been back to town since that point?
I haven't seen him. No.
Okay. If he came back
So-
and he had the mule again, then that would be odd.
So what are you guys thinking?
Do you want to
Well-
head out to that farmstead?
I mean, we could always just survey it and see if the cart and the horse are still there.
And we can
Yeah.
ask some questions.
Okay. Well, while we're on their way there, Werner's asking you guys, like, so what do you think the story is here? Like, do you think he's deserted the merchant guild and sold everything off and run away, or do you think
No.
there's some underhanded,
I think he's come to something ill, right?
some ill fate?
Yeah, and the fact that the guy had barrels of the Thunder Ale might very well mean that was his payment. The wagon, the horse, and the ale was payment for something that happened to our merchant.
Mm.
So he had Thunder Ale, and he'd been over at the hostelry. Perhaps the brewery's involved.
No, that's what I mean. I think the whatever the family was from the brewery
Yeah.
might, But I mean, I think at the moment the Brenners. I think we're still drawing at straws now. My issue with going and actually speaking to the farmer is that if he's up to something, we're just telling him that we know he's up to something.
Well, why don't we search around the brewery and search around the hostelry where we know that they were at some point? See
But
if we find
it's been 2 weeks, right? I mean, we absolutely can, but it's been 2 weeks in a raining town. What's the
Yeah.
chances we're going to find anything? I guess if we don't look, we won't find it. So
maybe there's some urchins around who've noticed something, and with some sweetmeats, they'll be willing to talk.
sure.
Sweetmeats. I've got mincemeat. That is the worst of Christmas treats. Fuck off.
Do you give me sweetmeats? I'll tell you whatever you need to know. I'm brass too. I am like,
You know what?
whatever. I'm eating stale bread, so sweetmeats sounds pretty good.
Just for that, Kev. Just for that, I'm bringing you some mincemeat tarts.
Oh, my mom makes mincemeat tarts at Christmas every year because my dad loves them, and I think they're the worst fucking thing on the planet. Like, they're so terrible. Oh god, but my dad loves them. He likes Christmas cake too, so he's just terrible taste in Christmas snacks.
Christmas cake and mincemeat for Kev.
So do you guys want to go and check around the Thunderwater Inn?
Well, if we go to the hostelry, because he says that he was over there. The guard said that they met up over there, or that he goes there.
Okay, so we knew our dude left the hostelry early in the morning.
Right.
Yep.
This guy left the gate at midnight, so it would have been a whole day at the very least. It could have been a number of days, right? But so I don't know that the hostelry has anything to do with it. I think the guy obviously ran into something after he left that morning. And, the only connection we have with the inn is the ale and the fact that, this farmer might have been paid by the Brenners to do something.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's going to take a cursory look around the inn, like looking for disturbed earth or something. I don't know that we're going to find anything after 2 weeks of rain, but I was thinking I could go back to the priest and ask what he knew about this Reiner Holtz guy.
Well, we could ask him about where they get their coal from.
Right.
You find out if someone's been hoarding coal or doing something. Like the shipment had to disappear.
But being on the far side of town, we know he's given some to the barracks. We know he's given some to the hostelry, right? He's going to go through town distributing it. If he was headed towards the Nuln Gate, that would probably be the last place in town. And what we don't know is whether or not he had a big enough supply that his intention was to go beyond Stromdorf, or once he'd done selling it here, he was going to just turn around and go back to Ubersreich
and resupply. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been going for about 2 hours, guys. Why don't we take 5 minutes or just to do a quick bio break, refresh our beverages and stuff, and then we'll come back and you guys can decide what you want to do next.
Fair enough. Gonna put on some music for the stream, Kev?
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Intermission music. So, Greg, while we were playing, I'm thinking, so in that first little adventure we played, started on the river, ended up with a mystery. We're at some place and there was a shrine underneath. And I'm like,
I saw you type that. We should go check for a shrine underneath the Holtz's farmstead.
I'm like, I wonder if this is written by the same guys who wrote the last adventure.
Yeah.
Don't metagame. Don't metagame. I have to take the chainmail off. Just sitting here. I'm not even doing anything, I'm not fighting or whatever, and my freaking traps and neck and shoulders are getting sore.
Why are your traps getting sore?
He's
missed
got
the-
his chainmail on.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Well, so when you think about it, like, so you think you see in these movies guys pissing themselves in their armor, and like, it might not have been out of fear. It might have just been because this stuff's a pain in the ass to move or get off. So if you had to go, it's like, you know what, mess the hell with it. I'm just going to make a mess because it's way
Getting
too
out
much
of the
work to
suit.
get out of the armor.
Oh, you took it off, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel
I
like
guess the camera wasn't on anyway. For those listening at home, Dave, camera wasn't working, but Dave was wearing actual chainmail for the first half of the session because he is an Iron Man gamer. All right, so everyone's back now. What are we thinking here, guys? What's the plan forward?
I'm going to go ask Magnus about the Holtzes.
Okay.
we're going to follow.
Okay, so you guys go back to the Temple of Sigmar, and let's see here. Give me a D10 check, please.
Right.
Okay.
Extent of the
Okay,
madness.
so there is no service, and the temple is empty apart from a few individuals whispering private prayers and the initiates preparing for the next ceremony. So when you walk in, you don't see any sign of Lector Magnus, but one of the initiates sort of recognize you and says, "Brother, what brings you back?" Oh, and
we're here
Morph.
looking for Lector Magnus.
He is. Is he expecting you?
No, I don't believe so.
Then certain. He is at prayer. Give me a moment. And he turns and heads down, and behind the curtain, there's a wait of about gosh, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes, and then the curtain rustles again, and you see him walk out to the same initiate, and he sort of gestures to you to go back.
Okay.
And it's just you. He doesn't let everyone go down there.
No.
So you head back downstairs, and the initiate says, "I trust you. You know the way."
I do.
So you head down, and Magnus seems to have been at some kind of study, and he looks over as you come down, and he says, "Back so soon?"
Yes, indeed, brother. We have some potentially disturbing investigations.
Did my vision come true?
Well, not yet, but we're not. So I basically regale him with, we spoke to the guard, and the merchant we're looking for's cart and horse were being driven by Reiner Holtz late at night, leaving the east gate, which seems extremely unusual.
Okay, he kind of looks at you. And what is this of my concern?
Well, as the spiritual leader of the town, we wondered what you knew about the Holtz family.
I don't know them.
They're not devotees?
I do not know them.
Okay.
Not to me. Remember, there are a couple faiths in here too, right? There's that shrine to Shalia.
But this is not the biggest town in the world, so it's not I don't think, a stretch that he would be aware of the family.
No, I'm just like, it's not unusual that he doesn't know.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Okay. No, I just thought I'd check,
Yeah.
whether or not they were.
No, he said they're unknown to me, though. The flock of Stromdorf is many.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry for interrupting your prayers.
Not at all. If this, I foresee that Sigmar has great purpose for you. And he says, I have no doubt that this is but one step in his plan. And he clasps you, kind of hits you on the shoulder. Like,
Ah. Okay. Well, I take my leave of him.
okay.
And go outside and tell these guys, yeah, he knows that the Holtz family is not known to the priest. So, strike one.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I think probably by now it's getting a little late because you've been tromping around town, you've been buying things for orphans, you've been talking to people. It's probably like getting closer to dinner time at this point. What are you guys planning on doing with the rest of your day?
Well, you guys want to just take a quick cursory look around the inn, around the outside of the inn, and then we can call it for the night. Like, go find someplace to stay.
Right.
Get some
Sure.
food.
Okay.
Before it gets totally dark and
Right.
So that's what we'll do. We'll sort of come around the back part of the inn and just see if we can see
Sorry, which inn?
the Thunderwater Inn.
Okay.
And the brewery, and we'll not come from the front. We'll come around from the back side of it.
Okay.
And just check around the exterior of the building. If there's any, we're just looking for disturbed
So let's refresh our memories for what Stromdorf looks like here. So, so what you can see in there in those top two illustrations or screenshots, I guess, is fairly consistent with what you'd probably see in there. It's mud-soaked alleyways, unless it's one of the main thoroughfares that has wooden planks thrown down to prevent you from sinking into the mud. It's probably going to be just full of puddles and mud and whatnot. So it's really difficult to. There's nothing that would stand out of a particular interest to you.
Okay.
In here.
There might be, blood stains on a wall or something, but we're not going to spend a lot of time doing this. We'll just walk the exterior.
Okay.
And, just check human hair on a post or something, just signs that perhaps something is unfortuitous has gone down.
Yeah. Okay. So now, just to review notes, do you guys know where this guy stayed?
Do we know
where Vessler stayed? Florian Vessler?
Yeah, it stayed that. Our last information, he stayed at a hostelry. Yeah.
Right.
And then he left the halfling or whatever saw him leave. And then later, well, we're assuming later that night, the Holtz guy left that east gate in his wagon.
With 2 kegs of ale.
If you sort of compare the times, it's the same date.
Okay.
The night that the guards saw him leave, that's the night. That's the night that
the night before he's supposed to. Oh.
So the halfling, if she saw him the morning of, that's the morning after the guards saw the cart heading out of the east gate.
Okay.
The known gate.
So he left the hostelry without his cart.
Well, the cart was seen leaving that night, and then the next morning, she says that she saw him, or that he checked out early, and that his bodyguards left.
So that would likely mean that she's not telling the truth.
Something's weird.
And the guards on the Ober's gate never remember him leaving. So, to the best of our knowledge, he never left town.
Well, in fairness to what they recall, they didn't recall seeing the white horse, and cart leave. That's the thing that would probably stand out for them. Not necessarily. There's nothing, particularly noteworthy about him. At least nothing you guys know at present.
So maybe we should be checking out the hostelry.
Would the guards not know him because he delivers coal to the barracks?
He's too new of a face.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll do the tour around this thing, and then we can decide where. I mean, obviously, there's more than meets the eye with a hostelry.
Yeah. So there's nothing of interest in around or at least there's nothing that stands out for you. Just, you know, it's 2 weeks of rain and mud and whatever. So, so are you guys spending the evening in the Thunderwater, or are you guys heading to the hostelry?
If we stay at the hostelry, that maybe we can do a little snooping around without being too obvious.
Or maybe it just escalates it. Either way, I'm fine with that.
Okay, then. And we can get some baking.
We can find your chaos shrine underneath the hostelry.
Yes. Although not mine.
Okay, so where is it you're heading then, guys?
Hostlery.
Okay, so you get to the hostelry, and again, it's the Stewpot hostelry is it smells wonderful when you walk in. It's not terribly busy in there, but there's a couple of people sitting at different tables. It's certainly a lot slower than what the raucous noise you heard in the Thunderwater. As you walk in, the little halfling Kilia, you know, kind of walks up and says, "Oh, it's you again. You've come back for dinner or to stay the evening?"
Both.
Wonderful. Well, take whatever seat you want, and I'll bring you some meals and some drinks.
Fabulous.
Sounds great.
So you guys head off and sit down, and again you know what you can see in here, guys, is there is a fair amount of guards, because remember, this is actually effectively right across from where the barracks is. So there does seem to be quite a few members of the watch that are in here, you know, shoveling back some food as well. And the meal is wonderful, and the drinks are not as good as at the Thunderwater, obviously, but they're not bad. Anything you guys want to do while you're here?
And they don't try to put a fish in our drink or something?
No, that is the good folks at the Thunderwater Tavern.
I quite appreciate the fact that she doesn't try to put a fish in my drink. I quite mentioned that.
Just, I see you've been offered the special then.
Yeah.
Yes, we were offered the special.
I see. Well, no such trickery here. Just good food, good drinks, and comfortable accommodations.
Yeah,
But tell me, what did you? How did your the rest of your day go? Did you find your friend?
We did not. We didn't learn much either, so that's not helping.
Will you stay then? Or will you be heading on?
One night for sure.
And then, sorry, what I mean is are you staying in Stromdorf then? Or will you be heading on elsewhere?
Oh, no, we're staying here until we root out what happened to him.
I see. You have generous patrons. Well, you're more than welcome to stay as long as is necessary. Though I hope that you solve your mystery sooner than later.
Can I make a intuition check on her to sort of sense how genuine she's being?
Sure, let me see here. Oh. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we just have taken her at face value the whole time. But...
Intuition, what's that?
Have you tried the pastries? Now that's some intuition.
Seems totally credible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, not that I could tell.
No, you're not. Gerhart is many things, but the shrewd judge of character is not necessarily one of those things.
Nope, not at all.
So you sort of, study her. I'm picturing him kind of like the subtlety of like Drax, just like
yeah. I like raise an eyebrow. I kind of like intently watch her, and then I'm all like, yeah, she's up. She's on the up and up.
Okay. So the guards seem to clear out before you guys do, and then after you finish up your meals and whenever you decide to call it an evening, she calls it an evening before you guys do. because she and leaves her, I guess, say 2 members of her halfling staff kind of running the place. Excuse me. And then, anything else you guys wish to do this evening?
Sleep.
So it's fairly comfortable. I mean, it's warm, it's dry, and you have an uneventful evening.
What is the cost? For
The
our meal?
cost is cheaper than the last. Let's see here. Cost was, I think it's a common room as well. Unless you guys are living really large. Okay, so there's meals, lodgings. Common room is, we went through this before. Uh, 10 brass pennies. So 10 pennies.
Okay.
All right. So the evening passes uneventfully, and morning comes. What are you guys doing today? One thing does change about today. Actually, let me just...
It rains harder.
Shit.
It's a thunderstorm today.
Is that even possible for it to rain harder?
You can hear distant thunder.
Yes.
So
Harry likens himself as like a meteorologist. So, medieval meteorologist. He's going to start forecasting the weather for you guys every day.
Nice. It's pretty easy in Stromdorf. It'll be rain.
It's where he got his start. It's where he learned his skills.
Mm. So, what are you guys doing? It helps. We can go back to the map so you can see what things are there.
So, can we check with her to see if he checked his pony and cart here when he stayed there?
We could ask, be more abstract. If we had mounts, where would we, and we were staying at your place, where would we leave them, right?
Oh, they. So you would not even need to. If you can, you're free to ask her that, but you could see that there is a little gate leading to a coach house and a stable. Just like it's not quite as big as what the Thunderwater Tavern has, but it's very similar.
Well, then maybe there's a stable boy or something. We should go talk to him.
Maybe he's a spider.
Maybe he's a spider.
Okay. So, you walk on over, and I think we'll say there's a stable boy who's working there. It's one of the staff members from the, what do you call it? From the hostelry. And you guys walk up, and who's taking the lead on this?
That's a great question.
I will.
Okay. So how are you approaching this kid?
Well, just the same way I approach everybody else. I storm up to him.
Okay. Like, are you trying to intimidate him? That's what I'm asking?
I don't think I don't think I have to at the moment. You can judge how
what I'm gonna
intimidating
do,
my arrival will be.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to, we're going to dictate how the role playing goes based on your role.
Sure.
Nice.
So, okay. And then just whatever skill you choose, whether it's charm or intimidate or gossip, then that's going to be the way that we'll role play it.
Okay.
Mm.
Oddly, they're all about the same. So I think my nature is more intimidating than it is friendly. So I will roll on intimidate, I guess.
Okay, sounds good.
Oops. What is going on here? Oops.
Is it prompting you for a modifier?
Oh, it is. Thanks. I just have it on separate screens. There we go. Epic fail.
Oof.
Epic fail.
Okay. So you go storming over.
I can spend a fate point to reroll, right?
You can, yeah.
It's fate, right?
I think so, yeah.
I thought it was fortune.
Which one's which here? Let's see.
That's the one that replenishes. I thought.
Fortune is?
Phaeton.
Festering wounds. There we go. Fortune, you're right, Dave. Fortune is to re-roll a failed test, and that's what refreshes the start of each gaming session to a max of your current fate.
Oh, you think
Oh, fumbling failure. All right.
We are just rolling.
So what
up
did
dice.
you can? I think you are. You needed to be at like a 6, and you're at a 12 right now. So what do we see as he goes stomping over and starts yelling at his poor halfling?
Oh, yeah. So I go in there and I'm like, hey, you.
He kind of looks back. Yes?
Do you always work in here?
I do.
Do you remember a merchant with a big white horse?
Sorry?
Do you remember a merchant with a big white horse? Maybe about 2 weeks ago?
Vaguely. Why?
Well, we're looking for him.
I wish you luck. He kind of like shakes his head and then goes back to his work. So with a fumbling foot, I think you draw your weapon at this point. And that's when we see you. Are you guys here? And I think Werner and Harry, if you're there, you're kind of like, wait, what? This is escalating very quickly. And you hear from behind you the sound of like, hey, what are you doing over there? And it's members of the watch who are on their way to the hostelry to have like a lunch or breakfast or something like that. What are you doing over there? And Gerhart, you turn around, your weapon in hand.
I'm trying to intimidate this stable hand. Can't you see?
You leave him alone. He hasn't done anything.
Well, how do you know he hasn't done anything?
Get out of here, troublemaker. Go on.
Harry's having fun with this. It's pretty good.
Werner,
I strike out with my flail, like swinging back and forth.
yeah.
Yeah, and I just hand him the writ from before.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, we've spoken to your captain, and he's given us permission to pursue this matter. And I think, and I feel like this stable hand is hiding something from us.
So they unroll it, and basically, because you've been using it all day in the rain, this piece of paper is now completely sodden.
Yeah.
And they unroll it, and they look at each other, and they look back at you. They say, "This says nothing for you to investigate. Move along. Leave him alone. He hasn't done anything." And you're sort of fuming and like looking back and forth, your bald head with rain falling down on it.
Yeah.
Verner and Harry, would you kindly each give me a perception check, please?
Perception. There we go.
Oh my god. Okay.
Not the best.
Holy shit. Oh, fumbling failure. Oh.
I was laughing so hard at Gerhard's attempts to intimidate the kid and how it just unraveled when the guards showed up. I was like literally on the ground laughing. I perceive something? What do you want me to perceive? How terrible this is going? Come on.
So I don't think you guys can refresh my memory here. this isn't the case where if you rolled a fumble, you can't re-roll. You always have the option of spending fortune, right? I think we were looking at this at a previous session.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, so it's
not to be mistaken with like the luck thing from Call of Cthulhu, right?
Right.
Once you choose to make the second roll.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you can't.
Harry, if you want to re-roll that and avoid the fumble, you can spend a fortune point.
Oh, but I was enjoying myself rolling around on the ground. Okay, you know what? While I'm on the ground, I may have noticed something. No.
Nope.
Trading a -7 for a -6, which is actually a fumbling failure as well.
Oh my goodness.
Oh shit. Okay, so I think
I find we roll so bad. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Have we had even one good roll tonight amongst
Nope.
all?
No, you guys have had garbage rolls all night so far. You're
So
due
far,
sounding good.
our best roll is a 39 right now, and that was a failure by 2.
Oh, good lord.
The
Okay,
worst part about this, like this mechanic, is that it's fine when you're contesting because you can roll equally as bad.
yeah.
But when we're trying to roll under a threshold, our lack of skill comes to the forefront.
I can tell you that the fumble in the contested one, the your effort to intimidate was actually contested, and it's just that you rolled such garbage.
Horrible, right?
Yeah. So, and then the fumbling failure was not great. Okay, so Harry, you can't quite hear what the guards are saying, but I think that you see the impression you're getting is that they're about to place Werner under, or not Werner, they're going to place Gerhart under arrest.
And somehow it's just too funny, and I had too much sugar, and I can't stop laughing.
Yeah. So then the one who looks over at you, hey, is he drunk in the day?
No, I had too many biscuits.
Yep. We may have overdone it on the tarts.
Okay. So, Verner, you have obviously, like, you've got experience working with, it's not law enforcement, but it's kind of like that. But you can see this is spiraling a bit out of control. Harry's got a weapon drawn and is shouting at members of the watch right across from the barracks. And your really seedy friend looks like he is like drunk off his tits. And not that being drunk during the day is a big thing, but a armed, big drunk guy, in the middle of the day, again across from the barracks, that may be something that gets the watch's attention. So this situation could definitely go sideways pretty quickly. What would you like to do? Yeah.
It's up to you to throw the first punch. Let's get this started.
Verner, you spare a quick look back as well, and you can see that the halfling has an insufferable smirk on his face right now. He doesn't notice you seeing him. He's just got this he's enjoying the shit out of what he's seeing right now.
Right, like he likes it.
Yeah. And then he sees you, like he sort of makes eye contact and then goes back to normal and then goes back to his work, or his face tries to hide the obvious glee that he had at you guys getting in trouble. And this isn't a matter of just like, haha, you got in trouble. Like it was a fucking smug thing.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got this halfling who's smugly looking over at you guys, and then there's the situation with Gerhart and Harry. What do you gonna do?
I don't know. I'm gonna.
Why am I the responsible one?
Oh my goodness. He'll go over to the guys and say, look, what are we trying to accomplish here? We're getting nowhere. And try and calm them down.
Okay.
Cool.
So Gerhart and Harry, how do you react?
I don't know. These guards are pissing me off.
Everyone has been unhelpful here, but we must stay focused.
Werner, always voice of reason. Can we
Well, we
just
could- We could tack. Are the guards still like lingering around in front of us?
Oh yeah, they're waiting they're in your grill right now. They want to know. They want you to move on.
Why do you have your flail out?
Let's just move on. We're not here to fight the guards of this town, my friend. It's
Listen
getting
to
us
your-
nowhere.
Listen to your friend, priest.
Oh, shut your pie hole! I stick my flail in my belt.
Yeah. Give me another intimidate check. I mean, you are a big, scary Sigmar, right? So I'm just going to see if this startles these guys or not.
TPK.
Nice!
Our first good roll of the night.
Awesome. Okay, so you turn around, bark at them, and then there was maybe one or two that were sort of the first off, the two that were facing you. They sort of stagger back, and they have the look of children being castigated by like a member of an extended family, like an unexpected kind of like, oh shit. Ooh. And so they get back and are speechless. And there were two other guards. Harry, you see this. There were two guards that were sort of walking over to try and assist their fellows. And as soon as Gerhart barks that, they sort of like turn and walk the other way, like, not my problem.
Not my circus, not my monkeys. See you later.
Gerhart, you stuff your flail in your belt, and then what do you go stomping off down the street or what?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Okay. So you stomping off into the rain. Harry and Verner, what do you guys do?
That got out of control fast.
That got really out of control.
I thought we were just going to talk to the stable boy.
I thought so too, but in some ways, everyone is so unhelpful. I really don't understand.
Well, maybe we go after Gerhart before he decides to pull his flail out again. And
Greg, is your mic up?
Oh, is it really low?
Yeah, it's really low right now.
Okay. So let me just.
Should we go after Gerhart?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
How's that?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So you guys go walking after Gerhart, and your allies catch up with you, Gerhart, as you're stomping your way along.
Down.
Now, what do you guys do next then?
Well, the stable boy was a bust, but do we want to go check out the farm?
Verner, do you share what you saw?
With the halfling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would.
So go ahead and phrase that, and then we'll do it in character. Here. So what does he say about?
Yeah, like how would he put it? It seemed that the halfling was quite amused with himself with how things were going for us.
Like, he found it funny that Gerhart was getting berated by the guards.
Yes, almost that he was reveling in it.
Gerhart, give me a cool test.
Ain't no cool in the priest of Sigmar.
So, am I correct in thinking that when he was at a 12 before, when what was required was a 6, he is now at a 24?
I'm pissed, but I think I've had a second to cool off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my due with this little turd, but not right now.
Okay. So you can see Gerhart is just little like veins are throbbing at his temples, but not to the point where he's going to lose his. He's so close to a fumble there. Not to the point where he's going to lose his shit again, but it's like you can tell he's right on the cusp of it.
So, but it
Right.
makes sense then, Werner, that since you noticed, maybe you try and talk to this kid.
I can try.
Or do you want to just kind of, we want to watch him, see what he does? Maybe he's hiding something? Or see if he knows somebody? If we went asking and it spooks him, maybe he'll slip up and go and talk to somebody.
Yeah, maybe.
Can we be discreet?
That is a great question.
I'll do my best.
So what are you guys going to do?
I'm not into beating up children, so the halfling is safe for the time being.
So sorry, I didn't hear. What are you guys actually doing?
We are going to have Werner go and we're going to go spy on this kid. See if he...
When you say kid, what do you mean?
The halfling?
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's not a child. Like, he's not a child
Well,
halfling. He's just a halfling.
He's little.
Okay. So you're going to try and like shadow him, I guess, Werner? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, going. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Figure-
Okay. What about the like? Are you planning on shadowing him all day? Is that what the plan is, or what?
Who's the sneakiest of us?
This would be a stealth check.
Okay,
And it's probably yeah.
I think we come back after dark and black bag him.
Oh my goodness!
Take him to the graveyard with us.
Tie him to a gravestone and then force feed him his own fist until he can
That's right.
tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea.
So, what are you doing with your day then? If you're gonna hold out to the evening, or is someone gonna try and shadow this this halfling all day?
Why don't I was going to say why don't
You know what?
Gerhart and
Why don't we go pay those urchins to watch him?
with food?
Yeah,
With
that's a
whatever.
good idea.
With whatever. Why don't we go buy some tarts from the halfling and hire the urchins to follow him around and come and tell us when he's leaving?
Yes, that's a great idea.
We can drink ale in the meantime.
Okay.
We need to cool our jets. A nice drink might be a good idea.
See, my first instinct was that this halfling was lying to us. So
It is a good thought.
he'll get what's coming to him.
Tell you what, I'll take care of the food and the urchins. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Okay. So
Don't need to convince me twice.
I think then,
That's like a shilling's worth of tarts.
well, it's finding the kids first,
Right.
you know. And I'm looking. I think it's going to be gossip. Is a thing to try and track them down. And I'll let you spend. Basically, I'll say like a quarter of the day is spent for each of the gossip rolls. So who'd like to make the gossip roll? And I'm assuming that 2 people can assist with it. So you'll add 10.
Sure.
So whoever wants to make the gossip roll, you'll get a plus 20 to your check.
My gossip is 37.
Okay.
Mine is in the 20s.
Holy shit! My gossip's a 44.
Whoa.
There we go. You're the kid finder. Get out
You're-
the milk cart. Jeff's in charge.
Okay, well,
All right.
yeah, Jeff, I'll give your character 2 shillings worth of tarts and goodies.
That's right. We draw a stick figure on the side of milk carton. Have you seen this kid?
Yeah.
Well, first you invent a milk cart.
Right. So you want me to roll to see if we can find these kids?
Yep. Yeah. Yes, please. This will be the first quarter of the day.
All right, here we go. So far, our success has been. Wait, am I supposed to have a bonus? You said
Yes, plus 20.
plus 20.
Because you're all sort of asking around for this. You can picture the cutscene.
Oh,
Whoa!
beauty.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to give you. So not only that's actually a lot of information that you get from that roll. So here's some tidbits of information you get. Is hold on.
The kids saw the guy get murdered, and they saw where his body's buried.
No, it's not that.
It's not that
Oh,
good.
that was easy. Let's get some XP and call it.
So here's what you find is you learn a couple of bits as you're asking around town. You can picture this as, a cutscene of you guys making your way around Market Square. Maybe someone checks in and catches, with some of the guards using that soaked, what do you call it? The writ or whatever that you got from Captain Kessler. And you find, first off, that there are, especially if when you relay what your experience was there, Harry, you find out that that's actually, there's effectively like a small little gang of kids. Oh, Dave, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. So I saw you drop out of Roll20. There is basically a small little like gang of kids here that are run by someone that is called Ms. Helena. The guards don't quite know who that is, but Ms. Helena runs them as effectively like a gang of pickpockets. And you also are able to find out, where one of these kids are likely to be found. And then let's do the scene with you coming up to these kids. So I think it's probably one of the backer, it's a back alley closer to the stockyards, where that the kids meet there to sort of eat their lunch. So how do you want to approach the coming upon this little gang of kids?
Okay, do I know the name of the halfling?
I don't think you guys got that. No.
Okay, how should I describe this halfling to the kids? I'm saying this to
stable hand at the hostel.
Okay, the stable hand of the hostel.
Okay, so how are you approaching this? You can picture it's like an area where two different alleyways sort of intersect, and there's a bunch of kids that are going to be sitting around, on boxes eating some, stale bread or something like that.
I'll sort of find like a corner, sort of, by them or whatever, somewhere where that would be quiet that I could talk to them, and then I'll whistle at them.
Okay. So the kids are eating away. Yeah, and you whistle, and they all sort of turn and look at you. And
then I'll show them the food, the treats that Harry brought.
Okay. I think that they're not bolting, but they're not quite trusting.
I'll try and wave them over.
Okay, give me a charm check, and I'll give you a +10 because of the food.
Charming.
Let's just see how it goes over.
I'm quite charming. No! Oh my good lord, this game.
You want to spend a fortune to reroll?
Yeah, 100%.
We're going to burn all of our fortune.
Just trying to get some freaking kids to spy for us.
Ah! Nice. There we go. Fortune well spent. Okay, so you sort of gesture towards the kids, and then one of them, a boy who looks like he may be one of the older ones, he hops up, walks over, he looks down and looks up, and he says, Miss Elena says, "Nothing's free."
No, nothing is free. We're looking for your help.
He looks at the food, looks up at you. It'll cost more than that.
I'll take out some. What is it? Copper is the
pennies are the smallest denomination.
Brass pennies. Sorry, yeah, brass pennies. What's a like a decent amount of brass pennies for a kid? Like 2 of them would be quite a lot.
For a kid, yeah.
I'll take out 2 brass pennies. So I'll give you one of these now and the food, and the other one if you can get me the information I'm after.
He looks back at the kids, looks back at you. What information are you after? And this is again like maybe a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah. You know the stable hand over at the hostel?
He thinks, let me...
A halfling.
Okay.
I need someone to follow him around. Find out what he's up to. Report back to me. He knows my face. I can't do it myself.
He looks at you, looks at the pennies. It'll cost more than that.
For a few hours of your time? What are you making here on the street?
He looks. If you want, if you want us to work for you, Miss Helena needs to get paid.
I'm not trying to hire all of you. This is just a side job for you, my friend.
I'm gonna make a cool test for him and see how.
See if 2 pennies, like personal pennies that maybe aren't known about.
Well, it's whether he's gonna if he's running, if someone is running a child, crime ring, and he tries to get a little, you just giving him money in front of all the rest of the kids. If she finds out that he's keeping money on his own, she's
right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, they all came over. Oh, I thought only one came over.
No, but they're all hearing he's the only one who sort of got up to you. Picture it like, scared birds, right? Like when one has sort of come forward, these kids are likely
They came close enough to hear.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Oh, okay. I that's not what I pictured, but that's fine.
Okay.
We could.
Then I wouldn't have offered it to just him, is what I'm saying, if they're all listening.
Oh, penny for each of them?
I'd do that.
Yeah. Yeah, penny for each of them.
Okay. So he looks back.
And
So
this
this
is
probably
2 silvers worth of food. So it's a substantial amount of food.
is that what you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. It says Miss Helena says you can't buy things with food.
Well,
No, but
she
That's
would
what
be.
That's what the
she
brass
would be-
pennies are for.
She would be wrong.
There's definitely kids in the alleyway who are just like they're staring at the food. Like they're it seems like that like this is something that they would definitely be on board with the oldest
Right,
kid.
he's putting on a brave face.
Yeah. He seems to be keeping the mind on the business
but you
side
can
of
do
things.
a lot. You can do a lot for your master on a full belly that you can't do when you're tired and hungry.
Okay, so that sounds to me like you're trying to fast talk, or there's a fast talk skill. There is a
No, just being reasonable. If you've got if you're
no, but what you're not factoring in the fact that like these kids work for her.
Right, there's haggling.
Yeah, haggle. Why don't you give me a haggle check there, Harry?
Harry's just going to sit silently at the back.
So no. What happens is the lead kid kind of smart asses back and he says, "You may only work to fill your belly. We look for further than that." And he kind of looks at your stomach.
Harry pats his belly.
So what do you say? They're not running, and they're not. The negotiations they seem are not closed yet.
You know what? Apparently, you don't want food, and you don't want money. I take one of the tarts and I start eating it.
One of the kids kind of in the back, and the older kid kind of looks back at him and looks back at you.
The opportunity is quickly vanishing, young man.
So
I look at him and I say, what would you ask for?
And he sort of looks back at the kids. I'm gonna pause for a sec so I can get a sense of what this might be.
I say to you two, let's just go. There's lots of kids out here who are more than happy to take up our offer. We don't need to deal with this little troublemaker.
Okay. Why don't you give me?
Werner's thinking that maybe he'll offer them some, like, I don't know if there would be like cigarettes or,
if we leave,
alcohol or something that they maybe have a hard time just purchasing.
If we leave, one of these other kids is going to come to us.
Possibly, yeah, probably.
They're starving.
Exactly.
I don't think you guys are appreciating the situation these kids are in. Right? This is like a Fagin style Oliver Twist
for sure.
game.
But like one of them might be desperate and might turn up, right?
Okay, so give me a.
Oh, and they may also beg to be saved from this No.
Gerhart intimidates even without his weapon. Eating tarts is intimidation in some way.
That's right. I should get a bonus for eating the kids' food.
What is this? What is the name of what is the name of your master?
I think you're Gerhart. Give me a. I think that's a bribery check.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all fellowship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Boom.
Hey.
The dice have turned.
Maybe we should just have our own gang of kids.
So the lead kid says, "Now hold on. What you're asking is you're taking a whole day away from us. There's a lot of us here."
You made on the street.
And he sort of thinks it over. He says, 2 silver.
Okay, so in context, 2 silver is a crap ton of money.
2 silver is what it costs you to stay for 1 night in an inn.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to hire is
no. I'm just saying from us, right? For us, 2 silver is a enormous sum of money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how much were we given for this whole job?
I don't remember offhand. I think it's 100.
I think we got 20, right? We got 20 silver each to pay expenses.
Yeah, so it's 10% of our.
Yeah, so if you don't like it, do it yourself.
All right. We walk away.
I'll eat a tart.
We don't accept their price.
Okay.
I'll eat a tart now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nom nom nom. Okay.
So what are you guys going to do now?
I'm taking the food back.
Okay. So you're eating your food, feeling a little sensitive about them making a belly joke. What are you going to do now?
I'm going to change my personal ambition from feeding 20 children to not feeding 20 children.
Sorry, that is your goal.
How many were there in the alley?
You didn't say what you had to feed them. I'm not saying
feeding them
there was
life
probably
lessons.
about 10 that you could see.
Mm.
Maybe we should go and negotiate with this. Go and speak to this master of theirs.
Or we just tail the halfling ourselves. I put the bag of food down at the end of the alley and as we walk away.
Okay.
I go back and grab one more tart.
Hey, that's not your food, Gerhart. Get the hell out of there.
I'm making a point. I'm making a point. I lost the intimidate check to the halfling. I gotta get some of my self-respect back somehow.
Yeah. Okay. So you leave that in the alley, and it isn't long. You don't necessarily see this unless you're kind of waiting around to see what happens. But they will, the kids will grab this stuff and head off. You've now fed 10 children.
Ooh.
So in spite of everyone, or your allies being a little pissed that these kids were driving far too hard of a bargain, you do manage to, toss some shit behind you, and you're helping some kids who are clearly in need.
Yeah.
So that was only about a quarter of the day. What do you guys want to do with the rest of your day?
Why don't we just stake out the halfling later in the day? They're not going to work all day.
So let's think a little further forward than just the next step ahead. What is your ultimate goal here?
Take over the town.
Beating up the halfling and leaving his body in the river.
Okay.
For the river wardens to find?
Yeah, well, it's a swift river. It'll go. No, I think. Well, I'm kind of done with the town at the moment. I think obviously there's something being concealed, and maybe we can go outside the town. We should probably go to the graveyard, go to the farm, gather information. That might illuminate more of what's going on in town. Because Yeah, like I don't know that we're going to find anything in town. They're consciously sort of colluding to.
I think we should just go to the farm and punch the guy in the face.
Okay, I'm all about that. We haven't punched anybody in the face in a month, so you're making me roll all these things that I'm terrible at. Punching somebody in the face, I am much better at.
Let's do it.
Telling somebody.
Sorry, what was that, Dave?
I was telling somebody the other day that role-playing games aren't always violent, but I guess it depends on the character.
That's right.
It is also the setting too. This is
Murder, Death, Hobo Central.
yeah. So what do you guys? What are you guys actually doing then?
We're going to the farm.
Go to the farm.
Okay. So you head out of town. That's an interesting choice. So
all that work, and now we're just saying, "Fuck it, let's go to the farm."
we kind of hate everybody in this town right now.
Yeah. The
Let's
only
be
person
honest.
we met that has been even somewhat helpful is the priest. And he's a wackadoo.
And the baking was good.
Yeah, but she's part of the baking conspiracy.
the baking conspiracy. Love it.
She's just plying you with sweetmeats and tarts and stuff like that, and then she's going to knife you in the darkness.
She helped murder the merchant for his coal so she could bake without a lower cost.
Yeah, you've seen Sweeney Todd, right?
Mm.
We've been eating the merchant in her product.
Her secret ingredient is diced merchant.
Yep.
Okay, so heading out on the road, it is still overcast, still raining, and there's the low sound of lightning that is rolling in the distance. Let's see here. You guys are traveling for about let me see here. You're traveling for only like about maybe 45 minutes along this this muddy it's muddy road, and then you see in the east. Yeah, you head south. So basically, here's what happens: you head east initially, which you've had explained to you will lead to the East Bridge, and that's what leads to Nuln. But then after about maybe a kilometer or two, you turn south and start following a much less well-kept road that is supposed to lead to several of the farms to the south. You're following along, and what you've been told is to get to the Holtz farm, you're going to have to head down to a certain point, and then you're going to turn east. And the Holtz farm is actually fairly close to the Oberschlecht. So that the marshy kind of Moorish area, their farm is actually fairly close to there. You're making your way down, and you've turned onto that smaller southbound road, the more rough one, and then you can see off in the east. At first, what you think might be a break in the rain, but then the wind shifts, and a whiff of smoke reaches your nose. Something off to the east is burning. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to fan the flames of Gerhart. The agents of chaos.
They're everywhere. When I was a flagellant, I would have told you that the world was ending. I would still tell you the world is ending, but hopefully now we can do something about it.
Okay. This seems to be probably about another maybe kilometer and a half travel away, just based on where you see that inky tendril of smoke going up.
Okay. Well, we just keep trucking along, I guess.
You have to turn off this road. You have to head it to the east down a second. There's one of two things. You can carry on and hope that you'll find a road that will lead you in that direction, or you can just bushwhack across the fields and make your way towards it.
Yeah, let's just go across the fields. I'm kind of itching to smash something.
All right. So it sounds like Gerhart has taken the point on this, and you're stomping your way through the field. Verner and Harry, I take it you follow?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're making your way along, and as you guys make your way across the field, what you find is the source of the smoke. And what this is the burning remnants of a farmstead. Every building, the barn, the farmhouse, the grain silo, and 2 small outbuildings have been set ablaze. And the sullen rain has managed only to make the ruins a steaming, smoky mess. Now, would you guys both, or all of you, go ahead and give me a actually, no, here, pick one person to make a perception check at plus 40.
Okay, mine is 37.
Okay.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so plus 40.
Yeah, 40.
Oh, easy. 5 levels of success.
Wow, okay. So you start walking up, and you can picture that this is the carnage here. The things have been collapsed into themselves. There's still that fresh, black soot that you see from burned wood. And around it is this churned up mud as well. But Verner, as you're looking around, you can quite clearly see that there are a number of cloven-hoofed footprints that seem to head off in the direction of the Oberslicht.
Oh, let's go.
Oberslicht is the thick covered moor where that you've heard so much about, and you've heard being full of beastmen. And what you can tell, Verner, I think as well, with that, you look around and you're like, they didn't even try to hide themselves. It's obvious here. The farmhouse's chimney stack is still standing. And so you're sort of like, I think, taking in all these things. And Gerhart, when it's pointed out to you, you scream, "Let's go!" But Verner, you do take another minute or so to study what's in the remains. And what you find among the soot and ash on the gray stones of the chimney stack is an 8-pointed star daubed in blood and shit. And trampled in the mud by the stockyard gate is a cracked wooden sign that reads Eagle. Or technically Eagle, I think. One thing that is a noticeable absence, there are no corpses, no humans, no animals or otherwise. You can see there are some drag points where things have been dragged along in the direction, again, of the, what do you call it? Of the Oberslicht.
Well, I'm already chomping away. Whoa! Chomping down after the tracks.
Okay, so you go. Gerhart's heading off in the direction of the tracks. Where are you guys heading?
How big of a group do you think this was?
Pretty big.
Oh, even better.
Okay, Gerhart, maybe this isn't the best idea. They burned down an entire farmstead.
Yeah.
Does anyone have track? I see track as an advanced skill. Does anyone have any skill in tracking?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, so basically, once you get away from the immediate area from where the farmhouse is and the outlying buildings, and you get into the either the tall grasses or the fields, you completely lose the tracks. You have no idea where they're heading. So Gerhart, you're sort of stomping off the direction and trying to find some way, some path to follow, and it's just not there. All you see is just rain and yeah.
Okay.
Would you guys? Okay, and actually, because you also rolled so well, I think Verner. So if you sort of went after Gerhart, and Gerhart, I'm picturing you're screaming out like, "Where are they? Where did they go?"
Well, no, I'm a little bit I think I'd be a little bit more restrained than that, just because I don't want to give away our position. But
I see. Okay.
I'll be like looking around, right? And
Okay.
when the tracks start sort of we run out of tracks, I'm getting frustrated.
Okay.
Right? So I'm like looking around for signs of a herd that's moved.
Okay. So you're looking around trying to find any sign, and you can't see anything. Verner, you walk over and are looking as well. And you sort of you look up, and you can see that in the kind of in the southeast direction there is another hill, and you think you can make out that there. It actually looks like on the top of that hill, that's maybe about again about another kilometer and a half away. It looks like another farmstead.
Is that in the direction of the farm we were heading to?
It does seem to be, yeah. Now the trouble is that the distance between here and there, it has become, because of the constant rain, is a soupy mess of mud, manure, and moldering vegetation. You can make your way across there, but it's going to be really fucking hard going.
We might be faster to head back to the road.
Yeah, that's probably not unreasonable.
Okay. So you're not braving the boggy, manure-filled field.
So the thing is, if we go directly, we're following in the path of the beastmen. They might have dropped something, or we might come across something.
I'm trying to think. I don't think any of your. You're right. Kev does love quicksand.
Quick mud.
Yeah. Do any of you think you would have had experience on a farm before?
I have outdoor survival.
Yeah, give me an outdoor survival check.
Okay.
This is far away from the rivers that I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
And I'm a city boy, so no.
Oh shit. Yes, even with. Do you want to spend your another fortune to re-roll that, or?
Sure.
I was born and raised.
Not really, but I don't have much choice.
Well, we got 50 minutes left anyway. Yeah. Oh, it's so close to a pass. This is fairly common sense stuff, so I'm going to give you the extra plus 10. And I think what I'm going to say is that this is from your experience when you were like a traveling mendicant, flagellant. Mm-hmm. Is that like you've tried at times? There's maybe one time when you cut across a farmer's field early in the springtime rain, and like that shit is like thick, coated clay. It's tromping your way through there. Like you probably could make it. It's not going to be. You're not going to sink in, barring there being some kind of unnatural thing. You would be able to get across there, but by the time you got across the other side, you would be so fucking exhausted. It would be like trying to pull a cart up a hill. Like, so that's the only thing that, and mechanically what I would do is I'd impose some kind of fatigue on you guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like you can definitely try it. And I would probably make you make toughness checks. So maybe some of you guys are just tough enough to get through that, but there is that risk.
Are there any like trees or something nearby?
There's probably windbreak, things at some point along the farm.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking is maybe we can achieve the whole like crawl up a tree or something and look and see if we can see anything along the path, and then come back down and go out to the road and go.
You mean way. Like in that field there?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Well, you know what? So. Because Werner's success was 5 success levels. I'll just say that Werner is able to get some kind of. You're able to survey the field, and it doesn't look like there's no tracks that seem to go across there either.
Okay.
It just seems like
we'll go back out to the road then, and we'll just.
Okay.
But from here, there should be a path from the farm to the road, so we might not have taken it. We cut across the ground.
That's actually correct. Yeah. So you guys are able to get to a point where you make your way across. You're covered in mud at this point, and soaked to the bone. But that seems to be this, this whole region in general. I need to take just 2 minutes to go to the washroom quickly, and then I'll be right back. I drank way too much caffeine today, so give me 2 seconds.
kind of funny actually that we did all that work to try and spy on the halfling, and then just fuck it, I'm tired of this city shit.
Well, it wasn't going our way. Look,
well, my character is the only one who's actually like a city guy, but he's not. He's more of a thug. He's not like a spy or a scout or.
I felt like if we kept going in the city, someone was going to get punched in the face.
Yeah, so we should leave town, go and punch some agents of chaos, and
get it out of our system, and then we can go back to town, and our threshold will be much lower.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good plan.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was about ready to have a go with those guards.
Yeah, I'm glad you succeeded on your intimidate, because if you had failed that, it would have been really messy, really ugly, really fast.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Now, what I'd like you guys to do is to each give me a perception check here. It's not going to have pass-fail. I just want to know who would hear what you're going to hear first.
Perception? Oh, you got it.
My perception of this deception is the...
Pretty okay. So Gerhart got 2. Rocking your perception
Harry,
again there, Harry.
I'm going to log out of Roll20 and log back in because...
I want to change it, Dex.
Wow.
Okay, so just waiting on Verner.
Oh, sorry, you want me to roll? Oh,
yeah, please, everyone. I was going to see who succeeded or who failed by the least in this case. Verner. So it's Gerhart. You're the one who hears this first. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So you guys make your way back to the road. It's probably about maybe about 40 minutes, 40. But to make your way back to the road, you tromp your way along. You're keeping your eyes out, trained for, especially knowing Gerhart that there are agents of chaos in the region, and murderous ones at that. If it wasn't clear too, like it's clear the shit was burning at some point either earlier today or last night. Like this is the scene at the farmhouse there was very, very recent. And as you are making your way up the road, and it turns out actually the road that you're turning down to get up here, this is actually the Holtz farm. These are the directions that...
Of course it is.
Yeah. So you're making your way up towards the farm, and what you hear first is, as you're getting up there, you're the first one to hear this, Werner, is the sound of 2 men shouting at each other. They're involved in a heated argument.
Okay. I'm motioning for the guys behind me to take cover, like in the ditch or something, right?
Yeah.
Like if there's any type of cover that we can...
Sure. Why doesn't everyone go ahead and give me a stealth check? And I'm going to give you a plus 20 because the rain, and also because these two are kind of interested in each other right now. Nice, Gerhart. Nice, Harry.
Doing what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I sneak and I smash people.
Verner, are you going to stealth check here?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Plus 20.
Send me a text. Plus 20.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
Successes all around. So you guys get... And now did all 3 of you kind of run off to the side and try and take cover?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys slowly make your way up, concealed in this in some tall grass. Gerhart, you're the first one who heard it, so I'll say you're the first one to reach sort of the edge. And what you see is this is another farm very similar to the other, though it's not damaged whatsoever. And standing in the rain in the middle of the muddy barnyard, there are 2 men who are screaming at one another. One is tall and gangly with 2 long limp blonde hair and a pug nose. His clothes are torn and he's smeared with soot, mud, and blood. And the other is shorter and darker with close-set eyes and a weak chin. "It's all your fault!" screams the tall one. "They're dead because of you!" And the short one says, "My fault! I told you not to stop, Tristan. I warned you, but you never listen." You guys do anything?
We wait for them to incriminate themselves further.
Okay, so they keep screaming, and what you're able to overhear, because the brain and whatnot, is, "What did you think would happen? Do you think you'd just go away?" And the tall one screams, "Why me? Why my family and not yours?" And this is the sort of thing that's screamed back and forth. If you guys do nothing, then there's suddenly a point where the tall guy suddenly draws a knife and stabs the short guy. And at that point, two other guys who were standing on the edge, a really tall guy and a really tall, thin guy, and another short, squat guy. And both of these are hideously ugly as well. The one is a thick-necked, strong-armed man with graying hair and a slight limp. And the other is a tall, thin man with dark hair, gray, grim eyes, and rail thin as well, rail thin and tall. That they go racing in and drag the blonde guy to the ground, and then start beating the living shit out of him.
The guy with the knife?
Yeah.
So they were friends with Shorty.
They were friends with Shorty. They look, actually, to be honest, they're hideous, but they look like they're actually related.
Okay. Hideously related.
And you can hear one of them say, "Get the knife! Get the knife!" Do you guys do anything?
Hmm.
You have 3 seconds to make a decision.
Okay, I charge out. Berserk charge.
Okay. Who do you charge?
I was wondering about that. I'm like, Gerhart's been itching to beat on someone. Why is he sitting here? It kind of stunned me for a second.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let me see.
I
here.
just come flying out after the two guys that are trying to hold the other guy down.
Give me 1 sec here, guys. I'm going to grab a...
I'm going to stay stealthy.
I was going to give you guys the chance to do it first, but I wasn't going to miss the opportunity.
No, I'm staying stealthy.
Okay, so this is not going to be a great map for this, but I'm not really interested in wasting time getting a new map just yet. So let's use this as the tactical map here, guys. Verner, I don't think you're hurt right now, are you?
No, I think that's false. That I have 1 hit point there on.
Or 0. Those, remember, you track up, not down.
Oh, we track our wounds, right?
Yeah. You check your wounds you suffer, and then when you exceed your wound threshold, that's when you start getting crits. Okay, let me just... I'll grab, let's see here.
I did have 1 wound left, like a long time ago, but that was after.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, you've had at least 2 nights sleep, so
yeah,
I think you would have been able to make a toughness check
and some mincemeat cakes.
Some mincemeat cakes.
We should get a combat bonus for well fed.
Yeah.
Guess who's going to go buy mincemeat tarts tomorrow?
Too much refined sugar for this cowboy. Okay, here we go. I'm going to have my lovely bowl of cottage cheese and assorted fruit.
That sounds tasty, said no one ever.
I like it.
Maybe you should sprinkle some spinach.
So for a number of years, I drink a lot of low sodium V8 because it's extra vegetables and whatnot too. And Jaden my son hates it. So I constantly tease him about listen, you can have anything you want in the fridge, but don't you go near my low sodium V8.
That sounds an awful lot like it just got poured down the sink.
No, it's very tasty. Okay, so there on the ground are those 2 guys, and then I'll put I'll just use this elf thing because and let me check and see what their initiative. What is your initiative there, Gerhart?
It's
on my sheet.
Yeah, where is it here? Forgot where it is on my sheet.
I think it's at the top where it says int because it's a stat, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's not like you roll it. You just have
is it the eye skill?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's int is the intelligence, so I right next to your toughness.
So I roll, right? Or is it
no, whatever your score is.
Oh, 30.
30, okay, nice. Okay, so then let's see what their score is.
Get it out of your system now.
Come on. Come
Humans.
on.
Ooh, 30 as well. So what happens when we tie? Let's see here. You know what I'm looking forward to? The starter set, which will have a DM screen in it, because I miss having a DM screen for this game.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not a roll; it's just your stat.
Yeah, you just go in order of your stats, and if
That's good.
if it's tied, then you do an opposed agility check. So go ahead and give me an agility check there, Gerhart. Let's see if you act before this guy can stab. Ooh, pretty good. Oh, jack dice. Oh, 28. Okay, I only succeeded by 1. You succeeded by 2. You are up first. Go ahead and make your action.
Go berserk charge.
Ah!
Okay.
Which guy? So the stocky guy is the dwarf. Will be the stocky guy and the older guy, and the other one, the human, will be the tall.
So
thin
who
guy.
looks more who looks like a bit more of a threat?
The older guy. The older guy is fucking thick.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I give him the heat from my flail.
Wah! Boom. Go ahead.
Does he see me coming?
I'm gonna make a perception check for him, and let's see if he actually sees. If he does, then I'll let him make a defense check. But otherwise, no. I rolled a 94. He's completely unaware. So,
Okay. So I come pounding out of the rain at him, and
like the wrath of falling, screaming, twin-tailed comet. Oh, remember there you can click on your weapon.
oh right,
Yeah.
yeah. I think
We'll just add the plus 4.
it's the same. It just doesn't. Where are we here?
That gives us the damage is the only thing. And the flail gives a what is it? It's a imposes 1 disadvantage.
Oh, look at that!
Nice. Oh, same thing.
Exact same.
Fucking fantastic. So 9. Whoa. All right. So what's it? This guy's not wearing any armor.
9 plus 4.
9 plus.
Because
because your flail is a 9. Good.
Yeah, my
Lord.
flail is 9.
13. Okay, cool. So his is a 3. Wowzers.
And a crit to his right leg.
Boom. Okay, so you slam into this guy's right leg, and I think that's actually his lame leg as well, too. He screams, "Ugh!" and is knocked back. He's not quite down, but it is a fucking nasty. You think you may have shattered his hip.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Bam! Into him. All right, so the Gerhart, that was you. What I'm going to do is I'll add you guys in initiative order. What are Harry and Verner, what are your initiatives? Oh, you know what? Well, hold on. I got them on the turn order already. Ignore me. So then, Verner, you will be up next. What do you want to do? Actually, hold up. I forgot that your initiative is so crap. I'm going to make a perception check with this guy.
Me.
Yeah, I'm going to see if these guys can act before you. So we know that the older guy cannot. What about the other guy? Yeah, the other guy was the thin young guy. So actually he is going to get an action. And I think what he's going to do, he screams out, "Dad!" And he's going to try and attack you. Well, I guess he's just going to try and tackle you, Gerhart.
Okay.
So go ahead and make your defense check.
It's a weapon check, right?
Yes, I think so.
But I get plus 10 because I have 1 level of advantage. Oh, I failed.
Oof.
Well, -2.
-2 success level. Okay, actually, you failed by less than them. So you still get 1 more. You now have 2 advantage.
I do.
So even though you failed, you still didn't fail as much as them. You stagger back, and you are good. Verner, now it is your turn. What are you doing?
I'll rush out. Which one is injured?
The older guy, the dwarf little figure there.
Okay, yeah, I'll rush out then and try and get in on this younger dude.
Okay, he's the one who tried to tackle. He's on his feet and is trying to grab and tackle Gerhart to the ground.
I'll actually just run in and try and grab him off.
Okay. So, do you have a? I think it's.
I have Melee basic.
Yeah, melee basic is like your
Brawling.
it's a different skill,
Oh, okay.
sub skill because it's let's see here. Yeah, brawling is what you want.
Okay, I'm not much of a brawler, but I'll still roll it.
Give him shit.
Brawling. Nope.
Okay, and then his defense is going to be, I think, dodge? Or is dodge only used against... Oh, yeah, you can use it. So he's going to try and dodge. I failed by worse than you. So you succeed.
Okay.
So let's just see. Yeah, you know what? Like, grappling is one of those things that I normally say, let's just look it up, and then we won't have to look it up again. But grappling seems to be the thing, unless I'm using the dungeon grappling supplement from Doug Cole, I always end up having to look it up again. Let's see here.
It's on page 163.
163, okay. Oh, it's actually not that bad.
Nope.
Okay, so you grab it. So it gains the entangled condition. And yeah, so he's just entangled. You grappled him right now. Next up is Harry. What are you doing?
I'm gonna run up and hey, you got a guy you're holding on to? Hold him up so I can smack him. Oh, kaboom! I'm gonna give him a good cudgel to the head.
Boom. Okay, so let me see.
You get plus 20 for attacking grappled dudes.
Nice.
Yeah, those outside the grapple get a 20-point bonus to hit grapplers with the lowest advantage, and 10 points to hit the grappler with the highest advantage.
Wow. Oh! Boom! Oh, right in the head, too. Jesus. As you brain him with your cudgel. And there's a vicious gash that appears in his head, but he seems to be made of fairly stern stuff, so he's not down. Gerhart, what are you doing?
So does this old dude, even though he's got a shattered hip, look like he's going to be able to get up?
He looks like he could, yeah. He definitely has seen worse days.
Okay.
He's ugly as shit, but he looks like he's tough as old shoe leather.
I'm going to smote him.
Okay.
Give him his worst day.
Yeah, I'm going to smote him.
Okay, and he now is aware of you, so he will try and dodge. Okay, so I got success level 1.
I missed.
Oof.
So I'm at 0 now.
Okay, so you swing, and he dekes out of the way. Old guy's turn. He's going to take that knife and try and stab you there, Gerhart.
Okay.
He got massive fail.
Boom!
Massive fail. Okay, so you easily I think that he's not even remotely close to getting close to you, so you now have one advantage.
Yeah.
That young kid, I guess, can try and break the grapple. So it's an opposed strength check. So go ahead and give me a strength check there, Verner.
Yeah, a strength. Which one is strength?
S.
I think you do get to add your advantage bonus, though, right?
Yep.
Oh, which is what?
10.
10. Oh,
Nice. Yeah, so
Good
he's
roll.
struggling trying to get free. He cannot. You've got him quite firmly gripped. It's your turn now. You can deal your strength bonus plus success level test with your strength roll to just do damage to him, or
yeah. I think that's all I'm going to do right at this point.
okay, so go ahead and give me another strength check.
Another strength.
I think your advantage should be 2 at this point as well.
It is, yeah.
So it's 20 now.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, good lord!
Fumbling failure. Let's see if he succeeds. He fails by 4. But you got a fumbling fail, so yours is worse. He is free now.
Yeah.
Okay, now it is Harry's turn. So that
Cudgel,
guy's-
he might have escaped, but I'll still smack him again.
Okay.
So I hit him that one time. That gives me advantage 1.
You should have advantage 1. That's right. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, Verner, you're down to advantage 0 now.
This sounds like I'm going to be using my fortune point.
Okay, so you're fortunate. Hold on. Before you do that, let me roll his defense. because you may still have hit. Oh, let's jack dice. No, you did not hit, or at least his success is better than what your failure was. So I wanted to see if you could just spend a fortune point to get one more success level, or whether you need to re-roll. So you're going to want to re-roll, yeah. He's got success level 2 right now. There we go. Whoa, critical success! Wow.
Boom.
Boom. Okay, so that is to the left arm. Why don't you go ahead and give me a percentile roll, please?
Mm-hmm.
85. 85 says severed finger. You gape in horror as fingers fly. Amputation. Oh, good Lord. So you smash his hand so hard that you knock 2 of his fingers off. Ah! Ah!
He probably goes to, like, block it with the bare hand or something like that, and he's got his hand up like this, and I just come down right on his hand and splat.
Smash. Okay, so the thing is he also
takes 10 points of damage.
Yeah, he also takes 10 points of fucking damage. Yeah. So he is not doing well at all.
His fingers are the least of his worries.
Yeah. So he actually knocks you. You also kind of smash through the hand and hit his head, knocks down or falls down prone, and he is. Let's see here. Yeah, he gains prone, and he's still moaning and screaming. And if he's not healed within a number of rounds, okay, so I'm actually going to let you make one more critical check, because you also reduce him to 0. You hit a critical hit from your crit, and you reduce him to exceed his wound threshold.
Oh, there we go. More fingers.
So another D100?
Yes, please. 4. Oh, the arm is almost pulled from its socket.
Ooh.
So I think there was a follow-up strike. You smash the finger, and he's like, ah! And puts his hand out, and then you hit it so hard it throws it back and almost knocks it out of its socket. He's on the ground screaming and moaning right now. And it looks like that gash in his head is a lot worse than it looks. He may be going unconscious pretty soon. Wow, Gerhart, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm giving it to the old man.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll. I'll make his. I rolled 3 levels of success. Not better than your 4, though. Nice. Okay, so bam, right in the body. So you knock the wind out of him. Go ahead and give me a crit check, please.
Sure. Roll
percentile, please.
Is the terminology 1d100 or just d100?
1d100.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually don't know if you could do either. 31 is winded. Gains the stunned condition. Oh, God. Okay, so basically he's going to pass out as well, too, because I don't think you're going to... He's not going to heal.
He took another 12 points, too, right?
Yeah.
So.
He's on the ground, and you hear... the guy who we do not have in the initiative order is the one on the ground, who I'm going to make a cool test for. Let's see how he's fucking bolting. He scrambles to his feet, screaming, ah! Ah! And is racing. I mean, this obviously has been a fairly bad day for this guy, all things considered. Do you remember, Greg, if there's an attack of opportunity for moving from engaged?
I think you have to use your action. No, it's not called disengaging, right? But it's...
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that you needed to successfully dodge.
Moving during combat, disengaging. If you're engaged during combat and no longer wish to be trading blows,
so this guy's
have
not
enough advantage, you can go... Right.
Yeah, so he's not... I'm just going to let him go because you guys are not engaged with... You weren't attacking him, you were attacking the others, so...
Yep.
And he has no foes left, so he gets up to his feet, and you can easily catch up to him, guys, because he's scrambling, kind of that like half running, half falling kind of thing that the blind panic kind of induces. So he's screaming and running off back in the direction of actually that giant mud field that you guys chose not to go through.
So you're saying we could just like walk like Jason and we would catch him?
Yeah, very easily. And Verner, you're up next. What are you doing?
Yeah, maybe I'll chase after this guy.
Okay.
Am I still entangled with this? Not really. He broke free, so
Yeah.
He broke free. I broke his fingers and his arm
yeah, I'll run after this other guy.
and his skull.
Stop!
Okay. Are you commanding him? Or are you trying to charm him? What are
Yeah,
you
I'm
doing?
trying to command him. Stop!
Okay, give me an intimidate check, please.
Intimidation.
There we go. I'm going to give you, hold on, a plus. I'm going to say it's an easy test because you scared. Well, you know what? He's panicked. I think like the fact that he's just, like so fucking terrified and panicked by a sudden surprise attack, that's going to offset the fact that you guys have just demonstrated how badass you are. So I'll just make a regular roll.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice. Pretty good.
He freezes in place and he says, Don't hurt me. Please don't kill me." And you're saying that, and then from the farmhouse, guys, someone steps out, and it looks like it's a woman in her 50s who comes running over, and she says, "Otto!" And she says, Stop this right now," and says that to you guys.
What's going on?
"Stop this! This fool came over trying to attack our son. Leave them! What have you done? What have you done to my Otto and my friends? My Fritz." She was so upset she couldn't remember her kid. She was racing over and is trying to basically stop them from, from dying. Oh, she's pretty fucking good at it. So good old Otto has been stabilized, and Fritz, with his fucked up now arm, is kind of still moaning. You see at the door as well too. It looks like there is another hideous daughter. She has close set eyes, a spot pig-like nose, and a soft, doughy face. And which of you? What are your guys' respective fellowship scores?
Fellowship.
37.
37?
Yeah.
39.
Okay. And Harry?
I don't see that in the skills. Or is that a
It's a stat. Fellowship is a stat.
Oh, mine's only 25.
Okay. She's staring at you. She's kind of those little, like, narrowed, too close together eyes. She's staring at you. You also see that there's this little kid that comes out with a banjo in his hand. And yeah, then there's actually 3 more that come out as well too. It's like a fucking clown car with all these hideous, misshapen, Holtzes coming out of the thing. I wish I'll post this as an image next time, guys, but just to show you, that's what the Holtzes look like.
Oh, nice. They're the Addams family.
Yeah. Or that family from that awesome episode of X-Files that got banned for a while. Home, I think it's called.
The mom underneath the bed.
Yeah. Fucking love that episode.
Actually,
I think I'll watch that while I'm doing my drawing tonight. That's great. Okay, so so this is the disgusting, brood that comes spilling out of this house. "Leave him alone," says Marie, the mom. "Who are you? Why are you here? Why did you attack my son?"
didn't her son knife some guy in the chest?
No, the guy her son is the one who got knifed in the chest.
Oh.
But there's another son who's they seem related. The tall, thin guy that you fucked up his arm.
Yeah.
That's the one who she's saying is her son.
Oh. Oops.
These are the whole.
That's a great response.
These are the whole
Something like
guys.
that.
When you say oops,
Some dude knifes her kid. Dad and Big Brother jump in. We beat the hell out of Dad and Big Brother. Yeah, that's really good, guys.
That's what we call a Wednesday here.
Yes. So
I'm here for the white horse. Give me back the white pony.
okay. She looks up at you and says, "What do you mean? What do you mean, white pony? What are you here for? Who are you?"
Tell her I'm here for the.
Looking around, you realize that you may have been a little, you may have gotten a little carried away here.
No. Now,
It's
now
fine.
Gerhart needed to vent.
that's right. I feel much better now. I'm back down to a 3.
So what do you guys say?
I go straight to the stables.
Okay. So you go right over to the stables. She's like, "Are you bandits? We've got nothing worth taking." You look in the stable. Harry, there's an old mule. That's it.
So I walk towards the old lady, the flail head swinging back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Where's Reiner?"
She gestures to she's like, "There, you almost killed him." And he's completely unconscious at this point. His arm is completely in this weird angle.
This served as an interrogation.
Did we get duped? I think we got duped by some city guard who's in cahoots with somebody. And we just got here and beat the hell out of people for nothing.
Well, maybe not necessarily. No, I mean just. So I say to the lady,
Werner is in total shock. He is, because I mean, he came out and tried to restrain the guy. He wasn't trying to, kill them.
Mm.
He's a
What
little.
are you here for?
So I say to her, "What happened to the cart and horse that Reiner brought back last week?"
Let's see here. Give me a intuition check, please.
Okay.
Nice. There's been no cart here. Reiner doesn't have a cart. And you can tell she's fucking lying.
Yeah.
Like from the way she was genuinely reacting to the violence and whatever else too, she's now lying.
Do you want to end up like your husband? I lift up my flail.
No, fine. The merchant sold it. Reiner said that someone sold him that horse.
So where is it?
It's not here any longer.
So I poke her with the head of the flail. Where is it?
It's gone. We gave it. Sacrificed it.
To who?
Them. And she sort of gestures off towards the direction of the Oberschlicht.
Are you trying to tell me you're conspiring with the agents of chaos?
Oh, no.
Give me an intimidate check, actually, please. And I'll give you plus 10 because you've clearly demonstrated your willingness to fucking kill members of her family.
Nope.
You got any fortune left?
I do. Sure.
It's 15 minutes left in the session, so
I will reroll. Intimidate. 10.
Sigmar.
okay. You know what I'll do is I'm going to make this contested with her cool instead. That makes more sense because you're a giant, big, fucking scary guy. So, she does succeed.
Okay.
So she's staring up at you like she's this hideous. Let's see what her misshapen features are. So good old Marie. Dark hair, has streaks of gray, and her face is lined with grief and worry. So she's got that kind of like, cornered mother kind of thing where she's just glaring up at you, meeting your force of will with her own.
Okay.
She's like, we sacrifice it to them, you fool. What do you think kept the city safe?
What happened to the merchant who owned the cart and horse?
She looks around. Well, he's gone. It takes more than horses to keep them satisfied.
Where did he go?
He's gone. Gone to the Mad Teeth. That's what keeps them satisfied. That's what keeps us safe. That's what keeps your city safe. Do you wish that wave to come across you? Do you want them coming into your city? Taking your children?
I take my left hand, the one without my phone on it.
Yeah.
And I reach into the sky and I hold my palm open like I'm trying to grasp something.
Yep.
Sigmar. Like I call upon him, right? Sigmar, show your wrath upon these infidels.
Okay, what are you trying to...
Nothing. I'm just trying to make her think that I'm like gonna like call down lightning or something on her, right?
Okay.
So I hold my hand up.
Give me another intimidate check, and I'll give you another. That's still at plus 10. Sigmar is the foe of foe hammer for chaos, so give me plus 20 on that one. Nice. Okay, so this breaks her, realizing, and hearing your voice carrying out around the barnyard. Sigmar, come down! And they're kind of, oh. The kid with the banjo kind of giggles, but she is just, terrified. What is it you wanted to try and shake out of her from that?
So I'm trying to get whether or not the merchant, they brought the merchant to the farm. They gave all three of them to the basement. The cart, the thing, and the whatever.
Yeah. So go ahead and ask.
Yeah. So I say to her, so you gave the cart, the horse.
Yes.
And the merchant. Was he alive when you gave them to the beastman?
Yes. But not for long. The Mad Teeth. That's their favored. The flesh of men.
Well, I don't think my urge is to be merciful here, but
okay.
I turn around. So yeah. So she says, "Wait." I sort of turn around and I look at Harry and Verner, and then I look back at her when she says, "Wait."
There's someone you should meet. You need to understand. And she's really more pleading to Werner and Harry at this point. A Sigmarite, she doesn't think she can convince of any of this stuff. You need to understand. You need to see. We have a way to keep it safe. This is a small blood. It's a small sacrifice to keep the city safe. Go ahead, Werner and Harry, give me an intuition check. Actually, you can do this too, Gerhart. All of you guys go ahead and give me intuition checks.
Just straight up, Kev?
Yeah, just straight up, please. It's a contested, so fumbling fail. Gerhart, she's trying to turn. She's using her wiles and her lying tongue to turn your allies against you. Verner, you think that she's lying as well. And Harry also rolled a fumbling failure. She's fucking lying. And Harry, I think she may actually be trying to ensorcel you with some kind of chaos magic. What do you guys do?
We do with chaos. We destroy chaos.
Okay, what are you guys doing?
So did you sacrifice them here, or did you give it to...
Well, I guess, right, again, like, I'm not saying that for... You fumbled your roll, so your character genuinely thinks that she's casting a spell on you.
Oh.
Yeah. Actually, Verner, you also got a -6 success level, which is also.
I'm just super confused by her.
So yeah, I think both of you guys think that she's casting a spell on you.
Shit.
So how would your characters react to that?
If I thought an agent of chaos was casting a spell on me, I would charge forward and smash her with my cudgel.
Go ahead and make an attack roll. Oh man.
Do I carry my 2 advantage from the last attack?
No, that session, that combat would have been over.
It's a 0? Okay.
Yeah. It's so great.
I thought I hit it, but
Is it waiting for a modifier?
oh, maybe.
Wow. Right in the same arm. She's slamming into her thing. She's like, ah, no, no. Verner, what are you doing?
He turns to Gerhart and he says, "Are we to be killing these
infidels?
these agents of chaos? Was that part of what we should be doing?" He's very confused. Like,
yeah,
I can't arrest him for a crime, can I? Murder?
I'm going to give you a sense of just how many of the Holtzes there are, too.
There's a gaggle of them.
Yeah.
They're breeding chaos in this place.
Like, you mean the monster men? Like, how many of those there are?
No, these are the...
This is the family. All these, like, little kids and...
Oh, like, how many of this family there is?
Of there's only actually one that's a teenager. That's that half-wit with the banjo.
Banjo.
He seems completely amused by this, even after the mom got smashed. Bam. Okay, now.
Okay, so there is many of them.
Hold on here. And I'm gonna make. Okay. So one of the older kids in the back there yells, "Run! Run!" And the mom on their knees screams, "Run, kids!" And they all turn and start bolting off in the direction of they scatter and start bolting off in the direction of the Ober's Licht.
Okay.
Okay.
That's perfect. That solved our problem for us.
Now, what are you guys doing?
I go into the house.
So you're leaving her on the ground injured?
Well, Harry's got her well, and he's standing over top of her with his cudgel.
Okay.
Where is the merchant's ring? I'll ask her. Did you keep it?
Just what do you mean?
I pull back my cudgel in threat.
Give me an intimidate at +20.
Moi?
Yes, please. You're the one standing over her, so.
Threatening her with another smash.
Contested with cool.
Oh!
Winner.
Whoa!
Chicken dinner.
Holy shit. So she wets herself, and you hold that, that thing over her. 1 sec here, guys.
See, we should just come out here at the beginning. Instead of like messing around with kids and
Stupid halflings, nonsense guards, stupid front desk clerks.
That's right. All this rolling on skills we were never designed to use. Let's get to the business at hand. Bust some heads.
Break some bones.
That's right. The diplomacy of fisticuffs.
Okay. She says she doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. She's trembling. Her eyes are wide, staring back at this terrifying, huge figure above her.
Her son.
As I storm by her, I go, "Where are his possessions?"
I don't know. I don't know.
Search Werner.
She's locked eyes with Harry right now and just feels like she cannot look away because she thinks he's going to fucking kill her immediately.
Holy shit.
I don't know.
Do I believe what she's saying?
Oh, give me an...
Tuition?
Oh, well, you know, it's a critical success. She's so terrified of you. You think she'd be incapable of... she's barely able to talk, never mind lie.
Okay. I just step away from her and go to her son that I clubbed earlier. Because that's the one who came back with the horse, right? Reiner?
Reiner's the one. That's the name you heard, yeah.
And that's who she said that I almost killed earlier.
She screamed out, yeah, Reiner! That's what, yeah.
Yeah, so I go to her son and I search his pockets and see if he's got anything.
Okay.
Belt pouch or something with some valuables in it.
Yeah, he does not.
Okay.
He does not.
So when I get inside the house, I go to the hearth.
Okay.
And I take out like something that's flammable. Like I don't know, do they have anything like a torch or anything, a lantern or something?
There's probably something in there, yeah. Like
yeah.
These people are not super wealthy, but I mean, there's like candles or something in here, yeah.
Yeah, something like a piece of wood or something that I stick in the hearth and like light it on fire.
Okay.
And then I go back outside and I grab her by the foot and I like drag her out into the courtyard and then I throw it into the house.
So I mean, like, there's not like a torch in there that you would be able to.
Well, like,
you could like tear down if you're intent on burning it down. It'll be something like
firewood that I'll just wrap in cloth or something. Yeah, just something that I can like catch something on fire, and I just drag her so that she doesn't get caught in the conflagration.
Yeah,
and then I like whatever.
Sure. So I mean, she is so terrified of Harry right now that she's completely insensate. The Otto is unconscious. What's his name?
Is bleeding to death.
Reiner is unconscious, and he is bleeding, from that wound. So he's actually probably going to bleed to death. And she just sits staring, kind of her eyes wide, and just lets it burn.
Okay.
So
by fire be purged.
Nice.
What if the ring is in the house there, Gerhart?
I don't think it is. I don't think they were smart enough to take it. I think it's with the beastmen.
Okay. So as that thing, the fires begin to consume the flame, and they stand. She her, like, we can see it reflected in her wide eyes. I think that's where we will leave things for until the next session. So let's
Can I
get out of the what do you call it? I'll get out of the stream here and get out of the thing here, and I'll award some XP here.
Kev, before we quit, can I shout at her to see to her son?
Yes, and she'll definitely follow those instructions.
Okay.
And let's see here. She
why don't you just drag him over there and stick his stump in the fire?
So she rolled a 92 on her medicine check. I think that you've terrified her so much that she's actually not able to save him. She's not able to properly tourniquet it. So he, I mean, she's doing all she can. Stop sharing. Perfect. Okay. So, let's take a look at XP for the session. So that was fucking bonkers. Love it. Okay. Having a month away from the game too, really, like, I felt really rusty on the rules. I did not realize I'd be so behind. So I'm gonna look at all that shit up between now and next session. I spent all that time getting the adventure ready. All right. So, boy, oh boy, lots of events tonight. You guys bullied some kids. You beat up an old lady, murdered her husband. God bless Warhammer.
A typical Friday night in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplaying.
Yeah, no kidding. The best bit of this stuff is going to be the eventual consequences. So, all right, so this is a normal session. I think you guys did exceptional today. So we'll give you guys 125 XP for tonight. Let's see, is there any extra additional bonus XP for excellent role playing? Yeah, we'll give you guys. I'm going to give Greg, you get 50 for the extra for what do you call it for, with fire purging things.
Yeah.
Dave, you're gonna get 50 extra for giving food to those kids.
Nice.
And Jeff, let's see here. Did you do anything that played to one of your specific motivations?
He tried to restrain us.
I did try to restrain you guys, but I mean,
He was the calming voice.
twice I had to do that. Jeez.
I'll give you 25 for that, Jeff.
Yeah. I guess I am a little bit of the River Warden. I'm not.
Yeah.
The popo.
You're the straight man.
The Popo.
Oh, jeez.
Popo.
Okay, so interesting. What I wonder what the hell is going to happen next time. So, let's see here. For those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for this episode 5 of our Gathering Storm campaign, playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, or you can reach me by email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. You can also reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings. You can also find me on, you can find me in the Dungeon Musings podcast, which you can find on Stitcher or Apple Podcasts or any of your Anchor, any of your favorite podcast platforms. I often talk about the campaigns we have on the go in the podcast, as well as some other broader topics relating to role-playing games. In addition, you may notice that in the link or in the description of this video, there are a couple of links, and one of those links is to something called Heroes Save Villages. Heroes Save Villages is the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel, and from now until July 1st, we are running a very special charity raffle. The raffle is has a number of different prizes. Any donations that you make go directly to the people at SOS Children's Villages International to help them with the very good work they do to help children who are abandoned or orphaned and living in very difficult circumstances. For every $25 you donate, you get one chance to win our grand prize or one of our many, many other prizes. The grand prize is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Platinum Edition Waterdeep Dragon Heist Adventure. That is a $500 US product that you cannot get any longer, and for a $25 donation you can get a chance to win that. In addition, we have a bunch of other prizes that were donated, either things that I have purchased to include in the charity, or things that were donated by publishers. And one of those things is a copy of the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition rulebook, which was donated very generously by the good folks at Cubicle 7. In addition, we've got core rulebooks for, let's see here, the Fantasy Flight Legend of the Five Rings role-playing game. We've got a copy of the core rulebook of the RuneQuest Glorantha role-playing game that just came out from Chaosium. We've got a copy of the 2 core rulebooks for Delta Green, as well as assorted rulebooks for some books for the Conan 2D20 game from Modiphius. Modiphius has donated a complete library of Conan 2D20 PDFs and a complete library of the Star Trek Adventures 2D20 PDFs. So lots and lots of great prizes in addition to our massive grand prize. And you can make donations and get opportunities to win those prizes by following through the link in the Heroes Save Villages link below in the description of the video. Last but not least, I want to thank my players. So guys, Dave, Jeff, Greg, thanks so much for playing some more Warhammer with me tonight. And you know what? I just realized we're not waiting 2 weeks to see what happens at the Holtz farm. We're waiting 1 week, because next week is our regular session. This was an impromptu session. So we will find out what our heroes who are beating up, bullying children and beating up old ladies.
Breaking old men's arms. What a bunch of nice guys.
I prefer to think of it as contesting the spread of chaos.
Exactly. We will see what they get up to in 1 week's time. So until then, thanks again for watching, folks, and happy gaming.